Rogers Show on 560 QAM. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560. Toll free in Dade and Broward. Or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, and callers do not necessarily represent those of the Beasley Broadcast Group, its staff, advertisers, or agencies. Now, here's Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Salespeople are iceholes.
I had to buy a Cadillac, a big stinking coupe de veau. I wish I had my money back. It don't do much good standing still. So drag head down the desert way. Those greedy smelling swamp. Let the deal with the oil man. And now we're getting robbed. Look at me dance right there. Oh, and rock. Oh, and rock. Dance right there. Oh, and rock. Oh, and rock. If we'd only throw a pair of balls, we could stop the structure. Fire up the jet fighter. And blow those towel heads away. All right. You got me dance right there. Bossy A-Rap, bossy A-Rap. Dance right there. Bossy A-Rap, bossy A-Rap. Look at me dance right there.
10:02 at 560 WQM. Happy Wednesday to you. Big day today, baby. I don't know why yet, but you can feel it. Can't you smell it? Yeah, it's in the air everywhere. Big day, gigantic, humongous day. I think we reached the turning point, you know what? And all those children, all those childish, right-wing, hateful, obnoxious, disgusting trolls. That's what they are. DTs, disgusting trolls. We heard so many of them yesterday. We've been hearing from them every day for the last few weeks, but yesterday lots of them come out. Are you intimidated by Bush? Is that the problem, Neil? Are you intimidated? Yeah, by his stupidity. That's what intimidates me. And George tells me he was getting a lot of calls off the air yesterday about, oh, well, we're heading to polls. It's all over. Well, guess what? Including the Sun Sentinel. Yeah, not a mistake in the Sun Sentinel. That has to be my mistake, isn't it?
No.
No? Right on the front page. With their latest Florida poll showing a statistical dead heat, which I don't understand. When Gore was ahead by 2 points, it wasn't a statistical dead heat. Now they got Bush ahead in Florida by 5 points, and it is a statistical dead heat. I don't get it. But anyway, the Sun Sentinel, a front-page article today, which is totally behind the times. Totally wrong. From the very first paragraph right on through in its entirety, it says, in an apparent reversal that reflects trends in the rest of the country. And by the way, nice going Mets. That's won a game, thank God. Hate the Yankees. And that sour puss, George Steinbrenner. See the look on his puss? Boy, he looks like he's got the mask of death on his face, Steinbrenner. I don't think it's going to be too long. He definitely has the mask of death written all over his puss. In an apparent reversal that reflects trends in the rest of the country. See, there we go. Republican George W. Bush is edging Democrat Al Gore in Florida in the volatile aftermath of the presidential debate. And then it goes on to say the shift away from Gore is significant according to observers because it's consistent with polls around the country that show Bush moving ahead since the three. Yeah. Hate to break the news to you at the Sun Sentinel, but as usual, right there on the front page. I guess they want to outdo the Herald by having mistakes on the front page. Every major poll now, even though it's razor tight, every major poll now shows Gore ahead. Oh! The latest Reuters, MSNBC, their tracking poll shows 45-42 for Gore today. Even CNN, which over the weekend had Bush ahead by 6,000 points, all of a sudden they got Gore ahead by a point, which for them is quite a concession, seeing that Gallup interviews 99% Republicans. And in spite of that, Gore's still ahead by a point. The CBS poll got Gore up by 2 points. How do you like that? Yeah, I like it. And like Bob Torricelli, the Democratic senator from New Jersey, who was on with our good buddy last night, and also Ed Crotch, they both admitted that if the election were right now, Bush would probably win, but it's not right now. It's like 2 weeks from yesterday. And the fact is that each and every day in the polls, Gore's getting a little more advantage, pulling a little bit farther away, opening up a little bit of a lead. And, of course, when people see this Rand report yesterday challenging Bush's claims on education in Texas, they're going to say, hey, maybe this guy is the biggest liar of them all. I mean, they're all a bunch of liars, we know that. But maybe this guy's the big liar. A report raised by a respected think tank raises questions about one of Texas Governor George W.'s key boasts concerning his record on public education, that during his tenure the gap in scores between white and minority students on the state standardized test has narrowed significantly. Well, guess what? He's full of crap. He's absolutely full of crap. The nonpartisan Rand Corporation study found that the record-breaking test score gains on many black and Hispanic students in Texas appear to be the result of intense drilling to pass the standardized test, that the coaching does not help the youngsters become proficient in those subjects, and that it might degrade education. It also said the massive numbers of Texas school dropouts misleadingly shrinks the test score gap. So guess what? Another false claim. The Rand study supports the views of many Texas teachers, instructors in the state's teacher colleges, and critics of standardized testing who say Bush has overstated his achievements in public education. The report's central finding is that minority students' gains on the Texas Assessment of Academic Skills tests are partly illusory and not reflected in batteries of other tests. How do you like that? Sounds like fuzzy math to me, if you ask me. Sounds like they're fuzzy in all subjects, if they're as dumb as he is. So maybe that new book ought to be Is Our Children Learning Not So Good in Texas? How do you like that? How'd that poll come out yesterday, Neil? I'm so glad you asked. And he's not here today anyway. Not that he would care. Fat Hank's in New York, I believe. How come the morning guys didn't know that? They're promoting he's going to be on. Boog is going to be on today. They're not quite so fat as he used to be, Boog. Who's the ugliest WQAM personality was our question yesterday. Hank Goldberg, 264, 40.4% for Fat Hank. 264 out of 653. It was hysterical. And guess who was the second place, who's almost never even on the station? Good guess. 136, 20.8%. I was third, which I thought I could do a lot better than that with only 90, 13.7%. Josh Friedman, sight unseen. This is quite a tribute to his grotesqueness, is that when even almost nobody in the audience has ever seen him, and they already know, they can smell it a million miles away. They can smell the aroma of ugliness, of grotesquerie. Josh Friedman with 35 came in a respectable fourth place, 5.3%, followed by Joe Rose with 26. Little George in there had 23. Jim Mandich, 19. Geldy, 17. Defo, 15. Eddie K, 10. Oh, it's refreshing now. One moment, please. The pause that refreshes. I hate this thing. Eddie K with 10, Boog with 8, Joe Costello with 6, and Bo Camper with only 4, because like I said, people are very scared of Bo Camper. He's big and mean, and they'll beat the crap out of you if you mess with him. Here's some bad news for the Gore Lieberman camp. Lieberman urges religion discussion.
Boy!
I'll get into that in a second. He was on again CNN a little while ago. Makes my skin crawl. Oh, yeah. He's the chigger in the woodpile. He's the impediment. I mean, they're saying Nader, and of course last night they had Donahue, who's a doddering idiot at this point. He's just totally lost it. Too much hanky-panky with Marlo Thomas, I think. Well, I mean, they're married. Aren't they still married?
Yeah, that girl.
Oh, that girl? So anyway, he's Lebanese, isn't he, Danny Thomas? Was? One of those Arab, yeah, you probably like her. But at any rate, I like her, she's fine. But like I said, too much hanky-panky with Danny Thomas made Donahue just lose it. They're saying that Nader is the impediment to chigger in the woodpile, and that's true to a point, but it's really Jew Lieberman that's the chigger in the woodpile. Because I'll say it again, Cheney just buried him. And all the polls, after seeing the two of them, they don't like Jew Lieberman. And not just, I mean, there are certain people who don't like him because he's Jewish. I don't like him because he's too Jewish. He's not really Jewish. He's obsessively Jewish. And I have a real disdain for people who are obsessively anything. Anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good example. See, I had to throw that in because our audience likes that a lot. Oh, that's Cuban. It was Cuban. See? There you go. Now you feel better now?
Uh-huh.
Good. In fact, every morning, those people out there having a rough time, having a bad day, when you get up in the morning, just say, those goddamn Cubans, and then you'll feel better. Yeah, just when you're looking in the mirror, shaving in the morning, goddamn those Cubans.
Works for me.
There you go. Well, you're talking about relatives. 10 past 10 at 560 WQA.
No portion of this program may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM Broadcast Group Incorporated.
Ray Whitney has a pair.
This is Earl. Earl's Firestone Tire Center. With all the hubbub and hoopla of Firestone tires over the lawsuits and wrecks, nobody wants to visit this here store no more. The sales are down and the youngins at the homestead are going hungry. So here at Earl's Firestone Tire Center, we're clearing out the inventory at unbeatable prices. That's right. It's our Firestone Tire blowout sale. Steer your SUV into our parking lot and tread into our store for deals on Firestone tires that are out of control. Our Firestone Tire blowout sale, only at Earl's, where we're always deflating prices.
When in doubt, blow it out. 10:15 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday. God, I feel good today. I feel like we got a shot. You know what Jimmy said? And look what happened to him. But we got a shot. And it's gotten to the point it's almost like a goddamn, like the Jets and the Dolphins thing, you know, like out of spite. Because the Bush people are so obnoxious and so disgusting and so full of hate and so, they make your skin crawl. Yeah, why, are you intimidated by him? Is that the problem? No, I don't like him. Is that okay? Can't stand it. Makes my skin crawl, like I just said. Not as much as Jew Lieberman, though. In fact, my skin is crawling a lot these days. Oh, speaking of that, here's a fax from a Royal Doral listener, which I find this fax a little bit bizarre because it says, went up to Newport, Rhode Island and Boston, slipped and fell in Newport and Boston. So you think he slipped and fell both in Newport and in Boston, or what does that mean? Anyway, his seventh rib is fractured, can't move his left arm above his waist. Was I giving him a subliminal message since my fall in Amsterdam? Yes. And I'm glad it worked. Hey, you'll be okay. See, when you overcome these things, it makes you a better person. That's the way I look at it. Doesn't that sound good?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's corny and it's not true. It's a lie. But it's a rationalization. And this way you figure, well, you know, I can get through this and I'll be a better person for it.
Whatever doesn't kill you.
And then I can go and see my good friend Louise at my rehab place again, at my therapy. Oh, don't say therapy now. Yeah. I'm talking about therapy for my hand, Ma. For my hand, not for my brain. And you know something? If I was going for, psychological therapy, doing this show every day, especially the last couple of weeks, would there be any shock to anybody?
Oh.
I don't think so. Which reminds me that C-SPAN calls George this morning. Wait till you hear this. You know how C-SPAN goes around, especially at election time, and they tape talk shows in different markets around the country, depending on what the issues are that they want to get. And they wanted to come in and tape this show to hear our discussions of the election. And I said to George, I got news for you. It's embarrassing enough to be on here talking to these bozos every day and getting the kind of calls that we do on this show. If you think I need the nationwide embarrassment of putting these idiots on the air, can you imagine that? Yeah, here's C-SPAN sitting here. Here's the first call from South Florida about the big upcoming president. This is Eddie. Maricon. And you're fat, you fag. Oh, great. Okay, there's South Florida's feeling about the election coming up. Yeah. Who the hell are you people kidding at C-SPAN? We got a bunch of... And it isn't just my audience, see? I mean, people could knock me. Well, it's your show, you know, you play all those farting sounds. And no, it's not this audience. It's this area. This area is over. Just watch the drivers out there. This area is loaded with bozos. We got more bozos per square inch than even in a goddamn circus. That's right. Speaking of bozos, well, let's take this call of Mobile and Plantation first. Hello?
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir?
George Bush looks like he has bitter beer face, don't you think?
Bitter beer puss, yeah. If he sees those polls, he might get a little more bitter.
Yeah, well...
Not looking quite as good.
Right. If the intimidation factor is anything, maybe it's because usually intimidators are bullies who don't have anything upstairs.
No, he's not a bully. He's just, he's pathetic. You look at him with that whimsical look on his face, with that disheveled gray hair, like, he's like a step away from Admiral Stockdale. Who am I and what am I doing here, you know?
Exactly. It's like a lost soul.
Yeah. Well, things are looking up, pal.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay, see you 2 weeks from yesterday. Oh, am I going to be excited about that? I get to vote at the fire station there, 121st and Broward Boulevard. Oh, man. I got my voter registration card out. I'm squeezing it. First time I'm voting in many, many years. I'm highly motivated. And see here, I wasn't going to vote just 2-3 weeks ago. I was going to lay out. You can't afford to lay out. Lieberman urges religion discussions.
Oh,
he is just... Why didn't he just go away?
Well, because these are important.
Well, I think that you're really being extremely unfair to my position, and we're just trying to have a civilized dialogue. And the fact that I whimper and whine like this is just a very accurate reflection of my wimpy personality. Don't you get it? Yeah, we get it. South Bend, Indiana, of all places, at Notre Dame, he's speaking. First, he was down there at Jorge Mas's tombstone the other day with a heavy heart, or a heavy part, something like that. Now he's in South Bend, hawking a china to those good Farbisten at Notre Dame. Returning to one of his most cherished and provocative themes, Senator Joseph Lieberman called Tuesday for a greater role for religion in public discourse as a source of shared moral principles and an antidote to the vacuum of values in American culture. So just keep that in mind. If you're not religious, you can't have values, according to Senator Lieberman. That's the answer, is religion. Like all those child molesting priests, they have values. Lamenting that it's become unacceptable in many circles to discuss religion, Lieberman, the Democratic nominee for vice president, said in a speech at Notre Dame that we've gone a long way toward dislodging our values from their natural source in moral truth. Without the connection to a higher law, he says, maybe he's talking about Hebrew National. Huh? I do like their salami. He says, without the connection to a higher law, it becomes more and more difficult for people to answer the important day-to-day questions that test us. Why is it wrong to lie or cheat or steal? Why is it wrong to settle conflicts with violence? Why is it wrong to be unfaithful to one's spouse or to exploit children or to despoil the environment or defraud a customer or demean an employee, he asks. I've got the answer, Jew Lieberman. DNH, do no harm. That's my religion. That's all anybody needs. They don't need any higher authority. They don't need the threat of punishment in hell, burning in hell. Everything is a sin. Eating too many hot fudge sundaes, it's a sin. Enjoying too much sex, that's a sin. Whatever it is that you enjoy, whatever it is that's good, it's a sin. Don't need it. Wave your magic wand, Froggy, and just make it all disappear. The world will be a much better place for it. And get rid of crazy old people like that man in a dress who's forcing people to procreate and have all these unwanted babies that they can't feed, that society can't support, that there are no jobs for, that there's a hopeless existence for. Pathetic, Jew Lieberman. Just like I told you, he is the equivalent for the Democrats, just like Pat Robertson and Jerry Foulball are to the Republicans. I guess everybody's got to have theirs. Unfortunately, the Democrats decided to run him for vice president. Bad move. Take him out of the equation, and Gore's got about an 8 or 9 point lead, at least the way I look at it, with or without Nader. Here's a Mobile and Plantation. Hello. Mobile and Plantation.
Hey, Neil?
What is it?
This is Neil?
Yeah, Neil.
So, what's up?
Yeah.
You know that Bush door is not good for English.
Oh, that's a good voice. I was waiting to see what voice you were going to use. That's a good voice. Now take the sock out of your foot out of your ass, and let's see how things go. See, that's what we would have had with C-SPAN right there. We wouldn't have to wait long for a good example. He's got 15 pounds of styrofoam crap over his puss. He's got the phone stuck 4 feet into his ass. I just want to see what kind of voice he'd come up with. You got to admit it was pretty weak. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Out of town, all those hotshots over there on the West Coast, all those great intellectuals. 877-785-6345. All those drooling idiots. I mean, here's a Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay.
I definitely believe in the same thing as far as do no harm to others.
Mm-hmm.
I got a short story. I was up in Boca the other day having lunch, and the strangest thing ever happened. Long story short, there was two ladies with 2 kids sitting there at a Friday's restaurant.
Yes, sir.
And they were facing us, and the child just continuously screamed whenever it wasn't being fed.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I was just looking in that direction. The next thing you know, she gets up, starts screaming at me and pointing at me, saying, "You will not talk about my child like this."
Yeah.
And then it ended by her walking over to me and I saying, "Excuse me." I said, "I was never looking at you. I never made a gesture."
Now, was this a Jamaican woman?
No. It was a Jewish woman.
Oh, a Jewish woman.
And then,
how do you know she was Jewish? Was she wearing a mezuzah around her armpit?
Well, she looked like it, I got to tell you.
No, she looked like a Jew. Oh.
Anyway.
You've been hanging out with George too much.
Anyway, she decided she wanted to threaten me with a Coke in my face.
With a what?
A Coke in my face.
Yeah, no extra charge.
And with no extra charge, obviously. And the next thing you know, we were trading Cokes and trading water. And that's all I got.
We're trading water?
See what I mean?
I'm calling C-SPAN back.
Call C-SPAN back, too. They missed out on some really perspicacious observations there. That's all you got. That was the only thing that was worthwhile in your call. That's all you got. That's precisely the truth. Believe me. 567-0560, pound 560. Let's keep it going, baby. We got 4 hours here, or 3.5 times. Here's our poll for today. If Clinton campaigns for Gore, it will help, make no difference, or hurt Gore's chances. We'll give you 3 choices there. Make it easy for you. We don't like too many chances because too many choices or chances. If Clinton campaigns for Gore, it will help, make no difference, or hurt Gore's chances. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You got it?
No.
No, well, think about it for a while. Hey, I would suggest, if you're interested in one of our great Neil Rogers' best of keychains, since they only made 1,500 of them, if you don't want to wind up in the predicament that happened last year when they ran out of them, because I don't assume we're going to make any more, right? We're not going to have time.
Right.
So they're going to go like hotcakes. I have no idea. Is there anybody working in promotions today? Because, some people in the hallway were bellyaching about the fact that our promotions department seems to be, in fact, the whole place today seems to be pretty much out to lunch. Of course, Bluff is on vacation, and maybe Greg is off busy getting the station sold, so I have no idea what the deal is, but it seems like we got a real skeleton crew here today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I'd get on the horn and get one of those keychains. I'd order it from our website, neilrogers.com or WQAM.com, or call Miguel's extension, 305-650-0156, because that's the only place you can get the keychains along with our van hits. You can get the CDs and cassettes, of course, at specs all over South Florida, including Naples and Fort Myers, no less. And all shipping and handling is being donated by Pack Mail Centers of America, 965 North Nob Hill Road in Plantation. All proceeds this year benefit Planned Parenthood of South Palm Beach and Broward counties. Got it? You got it?
No.
Get it. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
How are you Yidlock doing?
Okay.
Very good. How's the Pope again at Tuchus?
Yeah.
Good?
What can we do for you, sir?
I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
Is
And
that good?
that's great.
And I believe in DNH.
Yeah.
Do no harm.
Uh-huh. And?
Do you hear an echo?
And?
Well, I believe that,
Okay. 567-0560, pound 5... get C-SPAN in here, come on. I mean, I deserve to have them in here so the public realizes that I should probably make about 3 times what I'm making. I'm making a lot of money, but I deserve at least 3-4 times what I'm making in this joint, because trying to make a show out of talking to these boys, and this is it. What you hear right now, this is it. It's been the same for 25 years. Used to be in the olden days with the topics and the guests, it was older, senile people, but now it's just younger assholes, which we've got an endless supply down here. That's what makes the show so great, is we never run out of assholes, right? Right. Everywhere you look, including many of you, you're just in the mirror. You don't even have to leave home. 26 after 10 at 560 WQM. Were you fudge packing?
I met him doing coke in a fraternity house. And when I say coke, I do not mean Coca-Cola. C-O-L-A Cola. He walked up to me and he told me his name. Although he was stoned, he looked pretty plain. He said, George Bush. U.S.H. George Bush. U.S.H. George The world's most intelligent guy. He's got that smirk and a spark in his eye. Oh, my George Bush. U.S.H. George Bush. Well, he may be dumb, but he still understands how to give a speech like a Republican. Yeah, he's George Bush. U.S.H. George Bush. He's an asshole. U.S.H. George Bush. Oh, we drank cold beer and had great fun. Took joyrides on Air Force One. When he passed out on the floor, he got back up and drank some more. Well, it looks like a dad, that much is true. And just like a dad, one turn we first lost in George Bush. U.S.H. George Bush. U.S.H. George Bush. George Bush. U.S.H. George.
1033 at 560 WQM. A proposal by George W., the Republican presidential candidate, to remove U.S. troops from peacekeeping missions in the Balkans has provoked a wave of anxiety among the European allies who fear such a move would split the NATO alliance and damage faith in American leadership. While reluctant to be drawn into the final stages of the U.S. election campaign, senior European diplomats and officials at NATO headquarters said Mr. Bush's call for a new division of labor within the Western alliance threatened to erode principles of shared risk and collective security that have sustained the alliance, the Atlantic military partnership, for more than half a century. How do you like that? Also, the governor, who pushed for and signed legislation limiting civil lawsuits, filed his own lawsuit against the rental car agency over a minor incident involving one of his daughters. Little accident. That's right. Back on September 8, 1998, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, little offender bender. So he don't want you to be able to file lawsuits, but George W., he likes filing his own. Couldn't serve the papers, though, couldn't find the bitch. I mean, the nice lady. Rent-A-Car. There's Greg Reed, who says, they all blow. That's what he said, something like that. Gore, don't forget. If we find out that he voted for Bush, we're locking him out.
He's a Gore person. He was wearing a Gore button yesterday.
The last time he was in here, he said, I don't know, he tells so many lies. Well, you ought to be used to that. You ought to be able to relate to him. God, in fact, the Beasleys ought to love Gore. Although I did get paid today. Nice going, Greg. Got paid on time. They had to write 2 checks, though, because they screwed up the original one, but I'll take it anyway, in any form, even in a bushel basket. Gore, vote 3 or 4 times or else. I don't want to start pushing you around, but we can't afford to lose any votes. So Greg Reed's voting for Al Gore. Oh! George would vote for Gore 4 times if he wasn't an illegal alien. So I'm going to vote 7 or 8 just to make up for you.
Thanks. My wife's voting 20.
Is your wife voting?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
And all her friends.
And both of her friends? Well, she used to have a lot until she married you. 5670560, pound 560, all her Cuban. How about all your Cuban friends? Who are they voting for, George?
Gas.
Oh.
I don't have any Cuban friends.
How about your Cuban relatives? Is your mother voting?
No.
Is she a citizen?
Yes.
And she's not voting?
No.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That's the best.
Excellent.
That's the best news I heard. Locking your mama up all day on election day.
She wouldn't know where to find it in the polling booth either.
Here's the mobile and plantation. Hello.
Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
In a couple of weeks, when you go to your polling place, you're going to be going to the wrong polling place.
What do you mean by that? I have it right on my registration card.
Well, you said you're going to 121st and Broward. It's been changed.
Well, how am I supposed to know that?
Well, I'm just telling you, I just got a new voter's registration card.
Fire Station number 3, 12101 West Broward Boulevard and Plantation. It says right on my voter.
That was in 1875. Now you're going to go to Victoria Park.
What?
Yeah, that's where you're going, 118th and Sunrise.
How do I know that?
Well, I'm telling you, I'm a neighbor of yours. I'm about 6 blocks south. I just got a new voter's registration card. That's where I'm supposed to go.
You mean that little park where there never is anybody in there?
That's the one. I've never been there before.
Well, where are you going to vote in that place? There's nobody there. There's a little building there. Is that where it's going to be?
I think they have a portalette.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll probably be going. But that is your voting place. You better check that out before
you
go.
Well, I could walk up there.
Absolutely.
Because at my advanced stage, I don't want to have to go too far from home.
That's the news.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Now, how the hell are we supposed to know that? See what I mean about making it more difficult for people to vote? They're always bitching, the American people, you're a bunch of lunkheads, which is true. But I mean, even setting that aside, lunkheads have a right to vote. And they just keep making it harder and harder, and the voting thing, too. God damn it. Now, see, if he wouldn't have called me, I would have gone over there all bushy-eyed and all excited, and they'd have said, you're in the wrong place. Maybe. Assuming that, if it's one of my neighbors, he wouldn't screw around with me, would he?
No.
Victoria Park, there's nothing there. You know what it is? It's like that empty, they made a park there. Nobody uses it. Nobody goes there. Nobody does anything. They got like a bike trail there, and there's nothing there. On the corner of Sunrise and, what did he say? Sunrise and 118th. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Neil got the wrong information. He's supposed to go to Volunteer Park, which is the new building that was just built by the city of Plantation, and it's supposed to be part of the new park system that's being developed. It's on Sunrise Boulevard in 118th. It's not Victoria Park, and it's not that small park that's north of him. It's that new big facility that was built on Sunrise in 118th.
What new big facility? What are you talking about?
The Volunteer Park Auditorium. The new building that the city of Plantation built.
What auditorium? There's no auditorium on Sunrise and 118th.
Yes, there is.
There's no auditorium?
You got to ride the car. You got to go over there once in a while.
What do you mean go over there? It's like 4 blocks from my house.
No, it's a brand new facility, 15,000 square foot building.
Okay, thanks.
I think you ought to know what's on that corner.
There's a 15,000 square foot building on the corner of 118th and Sunrise.
They're Melaleuca trees.
These are obviously Bush people. See, that's how desperate they are, trying to they figure my one vote, that could be the edge. And it could be. So let's spend from now till 2 o'clock finding out where I'm supposed to go vote. I mean, this is pathetic. This is tragic. Now let's see, it's Victoria Park. What did the other guy say?
MacArthur Park.
Vagina Park? Something with a V. Who's with a V? Venus Park? Brad Park? Oh, speaking of Brad Park, how about those Panthers, huh? They're,
No.
Come on. Only 6,000 empty seat or unsold tickets for tonight's game against, well, they're not playing anybody that good, just the defending Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils. And like I said yesterday, I'm never chewing anybody out again for not showing up because the prices are ridiculous. They've raised the food prices again. What I saw on Sunday, there's no way that if it weren't that close, in fact, it's right kitty corner from Victoria Park. If it weren't that close to my house, I don't think I would go, plus getting the free tickets. If I had to pay for this, no way. See, I hate to break the news to you people in the organization, but the public, if you're going to soak them an arm and a leg and fleece the hell out of them, they want to go out there and see a show, and they also want to be entertained in an environment that's enjoyable, as opposed to that shrill Amy Semple McPherson or whatever the hell her name is, that bitch from Channel 7. And then they got that band playing now, which that'll be my first opportunity to be annoyed by that. How about making it enjoy? And then the PA announcer that we used to know and love, they got rid of him, and they got this new guy, which you heard on a spot they played before, who sounds like a 10-year-old child. Oh man, they won't listen to anybody. They haven't got a clue. They just haven't got a clue, and they wonder why there's all those thousands of empty seats. And you look around the league at the attendance. I looked at last night's games, except for MSC in New York, where there were a lot of people missing because they were at the Yankee Mets game. But nevertheless, they still had to sell out. They sold all the tickets like they have for years. But even in Montreal, 2,000 empty seats, unsold tickets, all around the league. It's bad, but here it's really bad. I mean, it's real bad. Better get it in gear pretty soon, boys, BM and TM, or it's going to be hasta luego, hasta la vista, baby. How's Joe Angel doing? Let's bring him into coach. 20 before 11 at 560 WQF.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
If you blow too much, you're in trouble.
Now, settle down, class. As you all know, we can no longer put up the 10 Commandments in our classroom. Additionally, in an effort to avoid offending anyone who might have been politically, religiously, or ethnically offended by our Pledge of Allegiance, the politically correct arm of the Justice Department has rewritten the pledge so as to be completely non-sectarian and non-offensive to any special interest or protest groups. So let's begin. I voluntarily affirm my devotion to any symbol I choose from whatever my ancestors' country of origin may be, and to the conglomeration of various special interest groups that it symbolizes. A diverse melting pot under a deity that may or may not exist, with the discretion to be divisive at our own whim, and the freedom to burn this symbol or sear it in elephant dung whenever we see fit. Amen.
Oh, God. 1045 at 560 WQM. So Wayne Arnold said what? He votes where? Pine Island or what?
In Broward, the courthouse annex. They have a office of voter registration and whatever right there.
Yeah.
You can fill out your little card.
Yeah, but what about that gigantic 80,000-seat auditorium on the corner by my house there? Didn't the guy say it was right across the street from my house and I just missed it because I'm not very observant and I had a lot of pain from my arm?
Maybe it's behind all the Melaleuca trees.
That might be it. This is pathetic that you can't even find out where the hell you're supposed to vote, and you wonder why people don't vote. You wonder why people, because you want to blame them. Is that what it is? Jesus K. Christ, Mary. We got a pair of tickets for tonight's game. Anybody interested in that game?
No.
I'm going. Just out of boredom's sake, I guess. I'll go for a while and see just how bad it gets. We got a pair right up on the glass. What section did you say? 133? Row 1? Is that what you said? Section 133, row 1. Right in the front row. Right up, you can put your nose on the glass. Take a look at Ray Whitney, see if he still looks as good as he usually does. Take a look at Pavel, see if he's got a... See, that one TV spot, maybe that's what scared a lot of fans away. The one where it looks like Pavel's breasts are as big as Anna Kournikova. Like maybe they had like a swap, a little exchange program going there. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I you need to explain something to me.
I need to explain?
Exactly. I don't understand why you're pushing all these people to vote. Can you explain to me why you vote for the president of this? I can understand voting for local government, state, but why do you vote?
Well, local and state doesn't appoint Supreme Court and federal judges. That's why.
And
then they have the great.
Nor does your vote elect the president.
How do you know that?
Because the Electoral College votes.
Sure, let me say it again. Whoever wins Florida will get 25 electoral votes, which very well could be the difference. If we were in Delaware, I would say, well, maybe we're not going to make very much difference. Florida could be the pivotal state.
Sure. If I vote for Gore and you vote for Bush,
yeah,
and Bush wins, where does my vote go? If Bush
what does that mean? Well, so in other words, why vote in any election? If you voted for Clay Shaw, I voted for Elaine Bloom, and the one that you didn't vote for wins, where did your vote go? What kind of logic is that? I've heard some stupid rationalizations in my life. That's pathetic. Both candidates can't win, sir. They can't both win. Is that what would make it worth voting? As long as the candidate you voted for wins?
No.
So what are you saying? What are you talking about?
But the general public doesn't elect the president. So why need us vote?
Well, so where do the electoral votes come from, Bozo? Where do they come from?
Has the president always been elected by...
Oh, God. So, like I said, get C-SPAN in here. Come on. Be a good sport about it. I think, how many minutes do you think before they get all their crap together and get out of here? Can't you just see them on the way out the door? Holy crap, we're getting the hell out of here. These people are crazy. What kind of a show is this? Hey, I ask myself that every day at 2 o'clock, but I got the check in my pocket, thank you. How about this last guy? Hey, the people don't do this. Sir, you're a lazy piece of crap. I've been lazy for many, many years. This year I'm going to vote. I'm not that enthused about Al Gore to say the best, but the fact is I'm real enthused against the other one and against the people that he stands for and is surrounded by and everything that they're all about. Okay, have you got it? They're all about one thing, intolerance. Selfishness, hate, and intolerance. Like I said, 3 things. 5, 6, 7. And you see, the fact that we're giving away that pair of tickets for tonight's Panther Jersey game and not even all the lines are lit up, what does that tell you right there? What does that tell you? Plus line 6, I guarantee you, still don't work because our program director took off and went on vacation and nobody bothered getting the goddamn phone fixed. I mean, the sloppiness, the slack, just like Todd Dreck with that spot that he doesn't care about. He doesn't care about the fact that the copy is illiterate and doesn't make any sense and I'm supposed to make chopped liver out of dog crap. They just don't care. It was that way when we first came here 3 years ago. It's that way now. It'll always be that way here because it's the Beasley effing way. They just fake their way through lives. And like I told Jelly this morning, just take the money. Just take the money. Like with the thing of the Panther games. I mean, if they lose every game the rest of the year, which is a possibility with the way they're going, just take the money. We're doing the best we can. I try to get people out there. I try to engender a little excitement, a little support. Nobody cares. And it's not only just the fact this is a bumfork town, which it always has been and always will. That's a part of it. But the fact is, I mean, you're just pricing everybody out of reality, and you're putting out a crap product. How about some excitement? How about an environment in which people can enjoy themselves instead of the constant bam, 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 bam? 3 hours of that. You walk out of there feeling like you need therapy. Or don't say therapy again. How about just for my hand? Yeah, my hand will be throbbing. And it won't be, I don't think it'll be throbbing from applauding and cheering all those Panther goals. So I could be wrong, but I have a feeling. You know what I'm saying? A sinking feeling in the pit of my purpose. All I want to do is find out where the hell I go and vote. That's all I would like to do. I looked at my voter registration card this morning. I made the mistake of saying on the air where it was, and now I've had 72 different people with buildings that haven't even been built yet. There's a 95,000-seat stadium on the corner of Sunrise and 118th Avenue, and somehow, even though I drive by there every day 50 times, I haven't seen it. Yeah. There's a whole complex. There's a sports complex. There's an arena. There's a baseball stadium that John Henry hasn't discovered yet either. It's right there on the corner. And it's not that far from Steak and Shake. Here's Miramar. Hello. Maybe I can go vote at Steak and Shake. Miramar.
Hello, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir?
It's a pleasure speaking to you. I don't know why all these people are coming for Bush and Bush and Bush. This is one guy who cannot pronounce a name.
Yeah.
Read my lips. No more taxes, and he's coming and cut the tax. Where are we going to get this tax now to pay everybody, teachers, doctors, nurses, and so forth? We have to get must pay tax. Take the Social Security money. You want to put it in bonds. When that bond corrupt, where are we going to be? I don't know what we Americans really wanted in this guy. He cut in tax, that's all. All he...
I don't want much from him. I just want him to go away, that's all. I don't wish him any bad luck. Just send him away.
All he interested is in Texas and Texas.
Send him back to Texas.
You watch the 8:30 show in the morning, Channel 33, the Munsters? When his wife lost, she resembled one of them. Really ugly set of people. They don't have the personality to be president.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll see you at the stadium where we all vote. Yeah, that's where everybody votes. There's this big joint, this big place. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to find out where we all vote. We all, even in Dade, Broward, Monroe, West Coast, we all voting in I think we're voting in that Tico Arena over there in Fort Myers. In, what is it? Onico? No, it's not Onico. It's Estero. That's where we're voting. I'm getting hysterical about it. Just trying to find out where the hell you're supposed to go and vote. It only takes about 5 minutes. That's all it takes, because there certainly won't be any lines early in the morning when I'm going. In fact, I'll probably have to get up around 6. The polls open at 7. I'll get up around and go out at 6, and I'll try a few different spots. Is this where I vote over here?
No.
How about over here?
No.
Is this where I belong?
No.
No. Probably I'll run by a bunch of Bush operatives. Any of the Gore people, if they know that you're for Gore, they tell you, oh, you can't vote here. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. That sounded like the mayor. Guarantee that was Mayor Veltri. Yeah, old fart, crusty old fart, 120 years old. Yorker. Yeah. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I just want to let you know, I drive for work, and I'm not in Plantation anymore, but there is a new complex right over there by your house. It's on the southwest corner of 118th and Sunrise.
The southwest corner of 118th and Sunrise.
Yeah, you know where that Equine Park is, or Equestrian Park, where they ride the horses and stuff?
That make-believe park, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's right north of that. They broke ground on it about 3 or 4 months ago, and they're already done with it.
They're done with it?
Yeah, it's built.
I must be oblivious. I must just have blinders on.
Yeah, because I used to do that neighborhood. I don't know if you're on the Zach Thomas side or the other side, but I know that whole area pretty well, and I saw them building in about 4 months.
Okay, well, when I go home today, I'm going to scour. I'm going to go over there and search like crazy.
You can't miss it. It's on Sunrise.
Okay, thanks.
It faces Sunrise.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Do I believe any of these people?
No.
No. See, I saw that movie with Charles Boyer and, who was in it? Ingrid Bergman? What was the name of the Gaslight where he was trying to drive her crazy? That was a great movie. Alfred Hitchcock movie, I do believe, wasn't it? I saw that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Too bad we don't have C-SPAN here for that. We killed an hour already and nobody said anything. Although I did like that guy with the Schmidhead guy. He was good.
How are you, Schmidhead?
Yeah, he was good. That sounded like Matty Bell doing a voice. Yeah, it was Matty Bell. You know Matty? He's an asshole. Yeah. And where's those numbers? Oh, that's right. He don't have the disc yet. He didn't have the disc. Hey, Matty? Yeah. 52 votes in our poll of Clinton campaigns for Gore. It'll help Gore's chances 32. Hurt Gore's chances 14. Make no difference 6. Oh, and then there was one of the shows last night they were interviewing, you know, the news shows, they always have to have one for Gore and one for Bush and one who's like, all pursed up and cupped, as the Chinese say, like confused. So they had one, the young Julio guy out there, and it was somewhere in California. And he says, I think I'll vote for Bush. And they said, what? Oh, he speaks Spanish. And I just let out the AC Says 15 routine of his, yeah. The 15th, the AC Says. My little dog speaks, in fact, the Taco Bell dog speaks Spanish 1,000 times better than W. He's got enough trouble speaking English. Forget about Espanol. Oh, God. 1056 at 560 QA.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station, and WQAM.com for the world.
Okay.
Recent court rulings concerning the sexual orientation of scoutmasters has made it nearly impossible for the average parent to know what kind of scouting experience their son can expect. But one organization has arisen to make things perfectly clear. The Gay Scouts.
Okay, troops, time to set up camp. But I've been pitching a tent for hours.
The Gay Scouts will teach your son the art of self-preservation in the wild.
Aw, man, this match won't light. How are we going to get this fire going?
That's okay. We can make our own body heat.
When your son joins the Gay Scouts, he'll hear late-night ghost stories.
And when the severed body was found,
He was wearing a Donna Karan ensemble with clashing lapels that had been out of season since Labor Day.
Oh, that was the scariest thing I ever heard.
So if you want your son to bond with other like-minded young men, have him join the Gay Scouts today, where our motto is...
Be prepared to trust yourself.
Okay. 11 o'clock at 560 WQM. We got Bruce Shabby for Hank this afternoon. Hank left town after being voted the ugliest QM personality. He couldn't, no. He was going to New York anyway. I heard him say that last week. May catch a game or two in the series. So the Brewster will be there to fill those big shoes. And then we got Geldy on game night, 6 o'clock tonight. Geldy on game night from the Hard Rock Cafe. Over there, right by that big arena that they just built not far from the Sawgrass. And then we got the Devils and the Panthers, 7 o'clock to pregame. Game time 7:30 with Jugs McDonald, and then World Series game number 4 in progress after our hockey game, after the Panthers do what they're going to do. Do what they're going to do. 567-0560, pound 560. You know, it really just amazes me. See, I was just reading I'm getting all this stuff over the facts, most of which is pretty interesting. I don't want to bore you with it on the air because none of you care about it. But the fact is, like somebody said the other day, in fact, he was a Republican, and he was one of our few rational, honest Republicans who said that the right-wingers are more motivated. And he's right. They're highly motivated. They're salivating. They're foaming at the mouth. The Clinton haters, the Bubba haters, they're foaming at the mouth. And the rest of you, and you can tell from this program. Yeah, the rest of you all sitting back. And, of course, look at the different elements. You got the Jew factor, the old Jews. They're all pissed off at me because I won't cozy up to Jew Lieberman. And I'm not going to sit here and cozy up to anybody that I don't believe in. He's obnoxious. He's disgusting. He's everything and all he needs is the pass and the yarmulke and the goddamn shmata on his head just to be one of the Hasidim. That's all he needs.
Those are the closet.
Everything that we can't stand about Orthodox Jews, that's him. All he's got to do is be going over there, rocking and rolling against the Wailing Wall over there with all those other crazy Hasidim. And believe me, if he had the opportunity, he would. Makes me nauseous. Well, you don't understand. You're pissing off all the Bush people. Too bad. That's my comment to them. See, I go through this every 4 years at election time. And there's a certain part of the audience, then they go away or they just get pissed off. Too bad. I'm going to sit here and express my opinion. That's what they pay me to do. And if you don't like it, to you. Okay? Too bad. In addition to which, like you said, that's a big part of our closet audience anyway. All those right-wingers out there who disagree with just about everything I say, but just squeezing themselves 4 hours a day between 10 and 2 here. Like that crusty old fart in Plantation, the mayor. Where's the fag, the Gore fag? Yeah, right here. Fagala. Oh, little Fagala, yeah. Old Jew. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir. Yes?
Yes, how you doing? You're having a pretty good show now.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a Miami call. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
Hey, I was wondering,
okay.
You still giving out that ticket?
I beg your pardon?
The tickets for the hockey game.
What hockey game?
You said you were giving out the tickets to the hockey game.
What hockey game is that?
Just because it was so expensive.
What hockey game is that?
The one going on tonight.
Who's playing?
I've never been to hockey game.
Oh, okay. 567-0560, pound 560. See, if you don't even know who's playing, I mean, am I going to give somebody tickets like that? No. He wouldn't know Scott Niedermeyer from Robbie Niedermeyer. Of course, Scott won't be playing. He's not signed, but believe me, Robbie won't either, even though he is signed for $2 million a year. He won't be playing much either. He'll be in uniform, but 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
How you doing?
Okay. Still okay?
I just wanted to let you know you turned me on to that little red caboose.
Yeah.
And they're great. I must have driven by there 200 times and didn't know they had those little hamburgers.
Uh-huh.
And just loved them.
Yeah.
And just want to thank you for that. And I wanted to get your opinion if Gore didn't have Lieberman, you think he'd have a better chance?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I think if he had somebody like Dick Gebhardt, for example, on there, it would be great. There are a whole bunch of people who could be on the ticket with him. How about the guy Torricelli from New Jersey that was on last night? There are a zillion people.
Yeah. And one other thing.
I mean, let's face it.
Playing tonight?
What is it?
Is Simpson playing tonight?
No.
He's not? He's still out?
No. Not playing.
Okay. Do you still have those tickets?
No. 5670560, pound 5. See, this guy calls and pretends he's talking to me about something else, and he's not. And there's Greg Reed's walking around with his grow button on. Oh, let's hear it. Now he's come out of the closet, so to speak, with a big smile on his puss like he knows what the hell's going on. I'm still trying to figure out where the hell I vote. I can't find out where the hell I'm supposed to go and vote. What is wrong with this town? And you wonder why we don't vote? I haven't voted in about 100 years. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think I ever voted in Florida. I'm thinking maybe back in Sarasota. I don't think so. I voted in Michigan, I'll tell you that. F&A. Voted for Hubert Humphrey, 1968. How's he doing? Yeah, but what about Hubie? H.H. Still dead? 56705. I mean, what kind of business is it you can't find out where to go vote? And then they rip the public because we're uninvolved and we're not enthusiastic and we don't participate. Listen, how about if they have the ice cream truck come around the neighborhood? You know, the one with the little bells, those stupid ice cream trucks. Why can't they have the voter thing come around in the hood? Well, some hoods. Here's a mobile in Tamarack. Hello.
Neely.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Captain? I've been down here for about 8 years now, right? Never registered to vote. This year, definitely. We can't let that clown Bush get in.
Yeah.
I'm going definitely for Gore. So I guess I'm another Gore fag.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. If this guy gets in, forget it. We'll be two-stepping all kinds of music.
That's right.
I'm telling you. He's
In fact, I hear that if he gets in, we got free trips to that park right across from that stadium that they just built by my house. Free summer vacation. 567. Get C-SPAN in here. Come on. Get Channel 7. Get Channel 2, 4, and 6. Who do we appreciate? Get Channel 8. Whammy. Yeah, get Whammy in here. Give him the double whammy. And then they would say, see, that's why we don't have his show on anymore. This is the kind of crap that he's got on his show. See, if they would have put any work into that show, if they would have put first of all, if people could have heard the audio, that would have helped. That was if I would have had a lawyer that had any brains, which I don't, that really would have had some balls, he would have sued their ass. Right? Am I right? What they did to me, I wouldn't do to goddamn Ava Brown. Or Cheryl. I mean, it's just unbelievable what they did. Butchering technically and then I kept telling him, don't put the calls on. It's only like a 20-minute show, but you take the spots out of there. Don't put calls on. Put me on there. I'm the one that's saying something that makes some sense, that's provocative. If you want a little bit of humor, you're going to get it from me, not these bozo callers. Oh, no, well, Maddie wants phone calls on there. And then they would put calls on there from these people where I'd let them go too long, which I confess, back in those days, I was still doing that, which I don't anymore very often. These long, ponderous calls that went nowhere. And then they wonder why nobody would watch that? Plus the fact they couldn't hear it. I mean, the fact they couldn't hear it didn't help too much either. And in spite of that, I still get all these people, oh, yeah, I remember your show on Whammy. What time is that thing on? Just imagine if it would have been done with even just a little bit of involvement, a little bit of something. I'm still thinking about those little 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. What is wrong with you? You're just so such a silly person since you did those shows on eating ass. You just never recovered from that. Well, it just came to mind when I was thinking about 8 minutes after 11 at 560.
Yeah, something you'd rather eat.
See, now you said that. Now you're going to get Peter Leonard all upset. He was in here this morning giving me a big song to dance about all his domestic problems. I go to get my therapy, my hand therapy, that is. I go there and Louise, you're great, Louise, but I'm sitting there and she's got me as a captive audience because she's squeezing it in my hand real hard too. And I hear the whole life story. And bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, and her son did this. Oh. You know what I could use right now? Is a big, fat one in my puss. That's right. A big, fat cigar from Nick's. It's legal. And it would be legal for us to have some, too. Do we have any? No. No, because Frank Mayer is an asshole. But you don't care about that. We do, because we're pretty pissed off about it. We can't seem to affect any change on that.
What's this obsession with Hokie?
Good evening, Governor Bush. Vice President. Have you formed any guiding principles for exercising this enormous power? So, you don't believe Vice President Gore, that we should take sides in this and resolve this right. A lot of people pushing, hey, the United States should declare itself and not be so neutral in this. Now, have I got that wrong?
Oh, I okay, yeah. Trying to figure out who the questioner was.
Right, let's move on. All right.
But
all right. No.
Did you?
Let's move on. Vice President Gore, would you support or sign as president a federal law banning racial profiling by police and other authorities at all levels of government? Governor, both Senator Lieberman and Secretary Cheney said they were sympathetically rethinking their views on same-sex relationships. What's your position? Thank you, Vice President Gore, Governor Bush. See you next week. For now, from Winston-Salem, I'm Jim Blair. Thank you and good night.
Good night. Good night. 11:15 at 5:62 a.m. Boston Bruins have fired Coach Pat Burr. How do you like that? Harry Sinton, that cheap prick, is going to have to pay him off that year for not working, which he didn't want to do. And Mike Keenan, according to Geldy, I've got the release in front of me here. The Bruins fired Coach Pat Burns following a tumultuous offseason in which management blamed him for the team's problems last year, but decided to keep him on. The team had opened the season 3-0-1, but the last several games they got in the tank, and he's going to be the scapegoat. Pat Burns rarely lasts more than 2 years anyplace. He was on the verge of starting a turd, but 2 years is about as much as Pat likes. Montreal, Toronto, wherever. A good guy for about 2 years, that's it. The team said it would name a successor at 11 o'clock this morning. It's now 11:16, and it says Boston Herald reported former Ranger coach Mike Keenan was a favorite, and Geldy says he's in, Mike Keenan. So if they think they had problems with Pat Burns, wait till they have to put up with Mike Keenan, huh? And he has to put up with cheap Harry Sinton. So here somebody faxes me this thing about, now let's see, the Bush camp said this to bring Bubba on. Yeah, bring Bubba on and they'll bring up the whole Monica thing again. And what they don't understand is that would blow up in their face, because every time they start with that Monica and the impeachment stuff again, the public gets more and more pissed off, and they keep thinking about that $60 million that they could have spent on going to the goddamn ballpark or something like that, or going to that new Victoria Park place. So here's a fax. Where do I vote? What's the website? Somebody faxes me a thing here from Jane Carroll, Broward Supervisor of Elections, and there's a website here, but I don't see where the hell it is. It doesn't say anything. It just says here, I see on the bottom, www.browardsoe.org/voting/info.htm. By the time you get through, put all that crap in here, you could have gone and voted 4 or 5 times. You could have gone around the goddamn neighborhood and find out where you went to vote. This is embarrassing. We've been on for an hour and 17 minutes, and I still can't find out where to go and cast my vote, which might be the deciding one. You do understand that. That might be the one that puts, and for that asshole before, it might give the 25 electoral votes to Gore. And if I don't go, it might wind up being crap. Or some asshole might go out there and vote for Ralph Nader because they like Phil Donahue. Oh, boy, you talk about tragic. He was out there standing in front of Shea Stadium before the baseball game last night and saying the same stupid, idiotic things, same old tired crap. And Bill Press kept saying, I really admired you very much back in the days before your brains got scrambled. I really thought you were great, Phil. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. I live in the North Acres on the other side of Sunrise.
Right.
And there is a volunteer park. It is brand new. The only reason it's kind of hard to notice, it's set back from Sunrise and 118th Street about 100 yards.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's in the corner of that property, and that is where we vote.
It is where we vote?
Yes.
Well, that's great. I can walk right over there if I can find it.
I mean, I'm a first-time caller. I'm only sorry that this is all I have to call about.
I appreciate it. That's
you
great.
Got it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
See, there's a guy who sounded rational, sounded like he knew what he was talking about, and now I don't feel quite so stupid because the fact I can't see it, it's blocked, what do you say, by a bunch of Melaleuca trees or something like that. Probably, because Plantation is infested with Melaleuca trees. And also with a police chief who's a lunatic. That was probably the chief they called before, the one who was about, hey, Jew fag, that one. Yeah, you make up those rules as you go along. You're driving 90 in your Corvette. No, I'm not. See, just because somebody drives a Corvette or a really hot car doesn't mean that they're an irresponsible driver, like most of you people out there are. Believe me, I've seen you driving. It sucks. It blows. You know what really bugs me? I mean, every day I could take one thing that drives me nuts about the way these people drive. You're approaching a school zone, like when you come off the stadium, the turnpike there by the stadium, and you come around Honey Hill Road to come here, and you make that left-hand turn. And why there's not a stoplight there, I still have no idea why, because there are all these terrified, timid people that refuse to make the turn, and they got everybody backed up, and we're waiting. Are you going to turn now? It's pretty clear, about 100 miles in each direction. And then it's a very short distance from where you make the turn to where the school zone starts, by that little that little school over there. And what they'll do, like this morning, I had some some dark lady in a SUV, dark lady in a dark SUV, and she's barrel-assing along from behind, just totally oblivious. I mean, lady, don't you understand there's a reason why the cars up here all have stopped and are slowed down and crawling along? It's a school zone, you stupid bitch! You idiotic slut! It's a frickin' school zone! See you next time, honey. But hopefully not on the same road at the same time. And they act like they're so goddamn impatient because, first of all, the speed limit, very often there are porkers under the overpass there or over the underpass, however you look at it, and they enforce that 35 like life and death there because it's right going to the school zone. And the speed limit, sweetheart, is not 150 through the goddamn school zone. It's 15 freaking miles an hour in addition to which you got all those cars stopped there. You're not going anywhere. It's like people that get very impatient because you're slowing down for a red light that's ahead of you there. And they want to be second at the red light. They're in a big hurry. They want you to haul ass and slam on your brake. Well, see, your brakes are going to last a lot longer if you don't slam on your brake. There's no point in doing it. Only stupid people do that, is haul ass to get to the goddamn intersection and then slam on the brake for the red light. They don't freaking know how to drive. And I'm going to say it again, mandatory vehicle inspection, desperately needed in this godforsaken state. Not just the old tube up your rectum. That was a part of it. That was just a scam to get your $10, but real vehicle inspection. And then remember that I brought it up last week and some old, you son of a bitch, we don't want to be bothered with that. Well, you don't want to be bothered with it because you're irresponsible. You're the ones that the goddamn chief is talking about who make it up as you go along. No headlights, no taillights, no goddamn brakes, bald tires, and you're out there like a goddamn driver, and your head comes up to the bottom of the frickin' steering wheel, and you're deaf, dumb, and blind, and just got your new 6-year renewal driver license in the mail from the frickin' state of Florida, where everybody's a driver. See, that's one good thing. You can go to your nearby convenience store or your mini-mart at the gas station. You can buy your lottery tickets and also get your driver's license in a box of Cracker Jacks. It's great. It's sensational. Everybody here's a driver. What percentage? How many people since in the last 50 years, how many people do you think got turned down for a driver's license in the state of Florida?
None.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Here's a call in Miramar. Hello.
Hey, Glenn from Myanmar here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, now that you know what to vote, are you going to go promote your homosexual agenda?
Yes.
All right. Hey, I'm only voting for the candidates that are endorsed by the NRA.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about that?
What happened, Glenn? You had to get some bad bowl of grits this morning or what?
I support the NRA. I believe they're right.
Yeah. And?
That's it.
And?
How about you?
No.
You're not going to call me a gun hugger or anything like that?
No. What's the point? You already just did.
Well, you know.
You're hugging it. You're squeezing it. Maybe if you had a penis, you wouldn't have to have be squeezing your pistol. Glenn. Yeah, Glenn from Miramar, one of our chronic regulars, who loves the show but hates himself for loving it. Yeah, identifies himself, Glenn from Miramar, who's been listening to the show for 100 years. Hey, listen, you're entitled to be a gun-loving nut. That's okay. It's America. Be my guest. And it makes him feel better also, even though he loves this show and has been listening for 600 years. It makes him feel also better. Got to get that fag thing in there because it's big news. December 17th, 1976, like 24 years ago, in a couple of months, that I came out of the closet on KAT. I've been an out-of-the-closet, proud fag for 24 years in this town. But to these people, it's still news. It's still an issue. It's still the one thing that they got to hang on to and squeeze. Because if I disagree with them, it's always, faggot, yeah. Tell us something we don't know. That I'm a fag and you're dumb. Tell us something else we don't know. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Speaking.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Panther issue. The
Chronic, get out of here. Go play with your boyfriends. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, shouldn't we be worried tonight? The New Jersey Devils are going to be up for playing the Panthers.
Yeah, that's right. They're playing one of those really hot teams from last year.
What was that all
That
about?
was one of the most ridiculous statements ever made in history. TM yesterday, I mentioned it in passing, that when we play the other teams that they're really up for us because we were so great last year. I guess what he forgets is the fact that those people read the newspaper too, and they see that we haven't won a game this year, and they see the tapes of how lethargic and how pathetic this team has played this year. I guess he's forgotten about that.
Yeah, and in fact, that in 4 games last year, we might have only lost by a goal, but we were totally dominated.
You know what it's called? It's called a lame excuse. That's what it's called.
Anyhow, as far as Glenn and Miramar are concerned, I thought faggots, guns, and small penises go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Neil, I got a new set of earplugs. Any shot at me getting them tickets?
No. 567 after. See, once you say faggots, you're not getting the tickets. You can say it after you get the tickets, and then we'll take them back. 567. I mean, I couldn't care less, but it just, just to bust your balls, which we like doing on this show a lot. A lot. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Maybe we'll get line 6 fixed someday. What do you think?
No.
No? Now that our PD is going on vacation again, God only knows what he's doing. 11:26 at QAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I don't give a shit anymore.
Join the NRA, shoot your gun today. Have yourself some down-home Christian fun. Throw your friends away, we'll back you all the way. Defending your right to own a gun. Think of all the benefits you're getting. Life will be sweeter when you pack your heater. Carry a license to be deadly. Come on and join today. It's the American way to be a member of the NRA. Aim for the knee, aim for the chest, and always aim for the head in case they're wearing a vest. Sharpen your skin, feel more fun. We'll be there to defend your right to hold a gun. Come on and join today, and you'll be proud to say you're a member of the NRA.
Come on, everybody buy your kids a gun. 11:30. Glenn would be very upset to see that in Canada they just passed much stricter legislation, even on those phony make-believe guns, and nobody under the age of 18 can buy those. And it's a gigantic, like $5,000 fine, and do not pass go and go straight to jail and stuff like that, because they're sick and tired of the American violence seeping in over there and all these gun nuts coming in. And they also had one of those turn in your gun programs where they give you like $500 or whatever the hell it was per gun, and they had thousands of them turned in. It was a massive success. But, of course, we don't want to do that here because we don't want to deprive great, strong Americans like Glenn of his peace. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Is there anybody in promotions today or what?
No.
No? Those guys taking the day off? I guess everybody's off here today. They're just, what the hell we come in for today? Oh, to get my check, that's right. You can always be sure I'll be here on the 10th and 25th of most months except during the summertime. I remember that first check when I was away, that first one that didn't show up quite on time? I do. That was only the beginning. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was calling to see if I can get those hockey tickets for me tonight. Take my daughter to the game.
That's it?
I'm not going to blow smoke up. Yeah, I'm just calling. If not, that's it. If it's so, thank you very much.
What do you say, George? What's up to George? Okay, sure. Okay, you got him.
Thanks.
Well, thank George.
Thank you, George.
Okay, hold on. See, I put the weight on your shoulders. I don't want to be a prick. They already hate me like poison, but they hate you like with a special venom.
Oh, yeah, way more.
No, they don't.
They hate me
They
way
hate
more.
you worse?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's get rid of this poll and take... That's good. That's a good poll question. I like that. Yeah, that's a sensational question. Okay, here's the end of the first poll today. If Clinton campaigns for Gore, it'll help Gore's chances 69, and I didn't make the number up. Yes, he did. No, I didn't. 69. Kurt Gore's chances 25, make no difference 18 out of this crowd. They think it would help. I agree. That's how I voted. I say bring Bubba on, baby. They can bring up all the Monica crap they want, and that would put the stake through the heart of assholes like Bill McCollum and all these other goddamn phonies masquerading as moderates. Who the hell are you kidding, Howdy Doody? Are you kidding us?
No.
No, not fooling me for a second. Okay, the hockey tickets are gone, so everybody else, they'll be gone. So here's our new poll question. How do we want to phrase this? Who do you hate the most? Okay, who do you hate the most? Neil, George, or what? Hate them both equally, or love them both? Huh? Yeah, that's good. Who do you hate the most? George, Neil, hate them both equally, or love them both? Huh? That should be good. Yeah, let's give an opportunity for all those hate mongers out there, the ones that hate us like poison, but are devoted and loyal, and that's all we care about as long as they're there every day. Because we got to fill their desperate need, fill that vacuum in their lives, the big vacuum in their...
Rectum.
Uh-huh, great. He was probably waiting for an ask for the hockey tickets. Didn't get on, though. 567-0560, pound 560, and of course anybody that's had their nose in it ought to know.
Rectum.
Yeah. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Hey, I got a new one for you for the sponsors. JB, Jack Black Jungle Bunny.
Yeah.
I was calling for the tickets, but you gave them to some rich guy in Coral Springs, so...
Yeah, I gave him to some rich guy, and we asked him what his income was before we gave him to him. We didn't want to give him to some Schwarzer. See that again? In addition, we don't give hockey tickets to Schwarzers. It's not that we discriminate on the show. We do make the exception in that area. We like some nice white people there at the hockey games. We've already got one Schwarzer there playing on the team. That's enough. He's allowed in, shouldn't be, but he's allowed in there. That's it. You people, you've taken over football, you've taken over baseball, totally taken over basketball. Let us have the one thing that we still have as a white person sport. We allowed a few of you people in there. That's it. That's where we draw the line. No mas. No mas. No more Schwarzers in hockey, because as soon as they get their foot in the door, all of a sudden you turn around, you wake up the next day, and they've taken over the whole goddamn thing. Except, of course, for that swimming thing. They're still having problems with that. Oh, yeah, this poll is going to be great. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree Gore should win, and you should vote for him, because anything that represents your best interest, you should vote for. But after all, you know, he is kind of arrogant and anal, and so are you on the show. But then again, we each have a right to express our opinions on your show. That's why you have a radio show. You should be open to other opinions. And don't cut off everybody that...
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing today?
Okay.
Listen, back in September when we had local elections over here in Lee County, my wife and I had recently got married. She had always been a lifelong Democrat. When she got her new registration card back, it was stamped independent. So my wife had to vote as an independent. When we called the supervisor of elections over here in Lee County, Belinda Young, their answer to that, Neil, was, well, just go ahead and vote for an independent this time. So, I mean, they're basically forcing you. You know, when you go to vote over here, Neil, you got 65 Republican booths, and you got 2 Democratic booths, and you got to dust the cobwebs off of those.
And no independents.
I just thought you may find that interesting, Neil. Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks for making the call. Thanks for the good news that they're just as screwed up over there as we are over here. But at least they had the good common sense to get rid of that McDougal fascist pig. That was great. Nice going. We'll say it again. Hey! Congratulations in Lee County. As opposed to the numbnuts in Broward who keep putting this, they never met a Nazi they didn't like in Broward, which just boggles my mind. All these liberal Jews in Broward County who control, I mean, what are they, 90% of the vote up there? Yeah. And yet, whether it was Ed Stack or Bobby Butterworth or Nick Navarro or this a long list of, and now of course this Ken Jenny son of a bitch, every fascist sheriff they get in, they keep putting him in overwhelmingly again. Maybe it's just that they're so stupid if they recognize the name, they put him back in there. Is that what it is? Of course, they do like Elaine Bloom because she's Jewish and she's good. How do you like that? That's right, she's Jewish. And just in case you didn't know that, I want to mention, not that it should have any influence on your vote, but she's Jewish. Oh, Elaine Bloom, Clay Shaw, he's a goy. I just mentioned that in passing. Father Paranoia. Oh, I'm just salivating to get this poll on here because you think you're going to win. You're not even in the running. You're not in the running. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Okay, now there's another hockey asshole. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, for your poll, I love you a little bit more than George, but I love you both.
Uh-huh.
Let me be truthful, okay? It doesn't really matter who is elected here. You know, Republican or Democrat, they're not going to keep their promises. It doesn't matter.
It does matter, sir. It does matter because they're going to appoint justices to the Supreme Court, and they're going to shape policy in this country on a whole broad spectrum of issues, not just abortion, but a zillion different issues. So it does matter.
Okay,
yes, sir, they're all full of crap. We know that.
Before you hang up, maybe you can help me. I've been a Democrat until this year. And I'll tell you why I changed. The reason I've changed is that I've seen a lot of my hard-earned tax dollars, like yours, go for funding programs that do not work, like welfare.
I hate to break the news to you, but under this administration, the last 8 years, the welfare rules have been cleaned right out. When in doubt, they cleaned them out.
Well, that's true. The last couple of years,
and contrary to what Bush keeps saying, they have sized down government dramatically under this administration, which Gore was very much instrumental in doing that.
But wouldn't you be for Bush as far as
I wouldn't be for Bush under any circumstances. And if all you're going to vote for is based on your pocketbook, sir, I hope that I hope you got enough money to bail your ass out when they throw you wherever the hell they're going to throw you. Selfish Neanderthal prick. That's exactly right. Yeah, and yes, I would. I would save a lot of money. You know what? He can stick that money right up his goddamn rich billionaire spoon-fed ass. That's what he can do with that money. Him and his goddamn cronies in there who are polluting the air so bad that you can't see 5 feet in front of you there in Houston and pretty soon all over Texas. And that's what you do to the goddamn Everglades and the environment of the whole goddamn country. All of him and his good buddies in big business. And that's why the stock market, all those CEOs are just salivating to try to get him in there. That's why the market's in the Schmidt house again today and the NASDAQ is down 40 and 50 points every day. And that Barton Diggs son of a bitch on Morgan Stanley is on there yesterday. Well, we got a lot more work on the downside to do on the NASDAQ to get down to about 2,500. Yeah, they only wish they could get it down to 2,500 like the day before the election. They're not fooling anybody. They're not faking anybody out. And I'll give you a classic example of how much your government cares about you. Where the hell is that article about that crap? I'll find it. Oh, yeah, early strokes linked to diet aid and decongestant. Didn't you see this the other day about PPA?
No.
An ingredient in dozens of popular over-the-counter diet and cold medicines may be the cause of several hundred hemorrhagic strokes suffered annually by people younger than 50, the government scientists said Thursday. A wide variety of over-the-counter, decades-old stuff. It's I can't even pronounce it. PPA. Found in products ranging from Dexatrim to Triaminic. But the FDA says, cannot be classified as safe, yada, yada, yada. So what they're doing is they're not going to let them make any more of it. But the stuff that's already on the shelves, well, so what if we lose a few hundred more people? Go ahead and sell it because we don't want to do anything that's bad for big business. That's your government, whether it's Democrat or Republican, the only difference being that once the Bush gets in there, it's going to be 100 times as bad. But you go ahead and worry about your goddamn phantom tax cut that you're going to get, sir. And that 60 cents a day, I hope like hell it really comes in handy. Maybe you can, if you save up for a few days, maybe you can buy a box of Triaminic. Try them, you'll like them. 20 before noon at 560 QAM.
You're a bastard. Hey, where you going? Where you going? Come here. Let me tell you something.
Oh, man, don't you ever take a bath?
Where you going?
He's a walking ghost now.
Check it out. I can blow bubbles out of my nose.
And the toxins that producer do.
I didn't do it, but I know who did.
His hairy ears are oozing down.
They made them like pets.
And in fact, that's so will they do. This is just for funny.
So the rabbi says, not without my shoes. Get it?
But everyone's disgusted and scared. Walks through hallways sideways. And he's covered with gorilla hair. Mama said he's okay.
He's such a handsome young man. Leave him alone.
We're not too sure what's going on there. Stay away from me. Josh Friedman.
Yeah, Bill thinks he's funny, but he's no Stan Danger. I'm funnier than him.
Don't come near me. Josh Friedman.
See, look, I can squeeze this cheese out of my belly button and sell it by the pound.
Got got so fat his guts exploded. Spewing wretched bile all over the roof. There's staples up and down his movement.
Rectum.
Just to hold in all that greasy old food. Stay away from me. Josh Friedman.
Now, you think I care if Chris Gore don't like me? Yeah, I think he does.
Don't come near me. Josh Friedman.
Come here, come here. Smell my fingers. Don't it smell like scrotum juice, huh? What does it mean when someone calls you an asshole?
14 till noon. The reason I play that is George just informed me a story that I had never heard before. An astonishing story of how, I don't want to mention Joe Costello's name, but over in the other building in the rat-infested, bug-infested studio on Sheridan Street in the old days. Joe evidently was running the board, producing the show, and Josh was standing in the control room next to him. And I guess as the aroma, that sweet smell of success kept getting stronger and stronger and more pungent, it just had to make a mad dash and unleash several meals because he just couldn't handle it anymore. That's our own Josh Friedman. Let's hear it. For a station that's got the guts to keep somebody on the payroll who smells and looks that bad. I say it takes a lot of courage to do that. If we're going to hire that freak. Remember?
He wasn't any freak. You're being mean.
What were you calling him?
The Thing.
Yeah,
the Thing.
That's it.
Well, I mean, that's him, the Thing. The Thing. And like I said, the people that showed up at those appearances, we appreciated over the years some very nice people, a few, a handful, couple. But I mean, some real things. Some real things showed up at those appearances. I don't want to see no things. Not his thing. Ooh, if he's got one. What's that vote so far? Who do you hate the most? George or Neil? Love them both or hate them equally? Let's see. Well, it's refreshing now. It's 34 votes. Hate them both equally, 2. Neil, 3. George, 7. And love them both, 22. Well, you're ahead so far, but don't get too cocky about it.
More than the other ones combined.
Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
I was on a house the other day painting the roof, and I heard you mention Borea Solming, and that 99% of the people don't know what you're talking about.
That's correct. I like it when that happens, yeah.
And actually, I'm on a...
What is it?
I'm on a payphone here, and it's going to cut me off, but he's the guy that got the skate in the face?
Borea Solming?
Yeah.
I remember that. He was a great defenseman. He was a Swedish defenseman, Toronto Maple Leafs for 100 years, yeah.
I grew up in Mississauga.
Right.
I got a joke. It's not too...
Okay, good. Well, tell it to Don Cherry. 5, 6, 7. Well, he's going to get cut off anyway. We don't do jokes. How many times do I have to tell these people we don't do jokes? We don't do jokes. Although we do have the Panthers and the Devils tonight, speaking of jokes. I'm sorry. Maybe tonight's tonight, huh?
No.
As this group wakes up. Lots of empty seats. Go out there and pick your own, baby. Panther Pack, 6,000 unsold tickets. Well, 5,500 beside the Panther Pack, 5,600, whatever it is. Lots and lots. So there should be plenty of elbow room. As a matter of fact, if there are a lot of empty seats, that gives me the option. If those assholes show up in front of me tonight with their 85 little kids and start playing that dog and pony show of theirs again the whole game, I'll find someplace else to sit. I don't care. I'm not going to put up with that the rest of the year. Ah, but it's so funny. It gives you something to talk about. We have plenty of else to talk about, okay, besides talking about you inconsiderate assholes who refuse to get the message now for the 3rd year in a row. We're not putting up with it. In fact, the very first game, that's the only one I've been to. We've only had 2 home games. The first damn game, the Vancouver game. And I'm sitting there in my seat, and these people start getting up. The game is just starting, and now they're getting up, and they're moving little kids around and getting all in position. And the guy behind me says, down in front. And I thought, nice going, pal. Not that it makes any difference, because they're oblivious. And then they got their buddies over in the section to our right. There's their buddies that keep coming back and forth and moving in and out of the section and sitting and playing grab ass. Because, I'll say it again, it's not a sporting event, it's a social freaking club. That's what it is. Make no mistake about it. It's a social club. Those people wouldn't know goddamn Borea Solming from Born Bjorg. That's what they know about it. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I hate Bush the most. Gore is a little above him, but I'm for Gore. I saw a thing on TV. They were saying that his father was losing the election, and they brought him in, his son, and he was campaigned really dirty and hard, and he was a big reason why he got his father elected. and then he was so good at it, he decided...
No, I don't know what you're talking about. The only reason his father got elected, there was one person, Michael Dukakis. That's why his father got elected.
Well, Dukakis was beating him.
He was beating him before the debates. And then as soon as he got up and opened his mouth about how, well, he's very tough on crime, but he's against capital punishment, and everybody saw what a wimpy little piece of crap he was, that was the end of him. I mean, there was the only one person in America who could outwimp George Bush, and that was Michael Dukakis. And leave it to Democrats, they found it.
Oh! Well, the show said that his son was instrumental in the campaign. They won in the election, and he was so good at it, he decided to get himself to be governor.
Well, he'd have to do something because he was a failure at everything else he did. Failure in the oil business. He traded Sammy Sosa from Texas Rangers, and the only reason he succeeded there is because the stockholders, because his name was Bush, gave him zillions of dollars worth of free stock and made him into a multimillionaire. He's failed at everything he's ever done.
Well, I hope he fails this too.
Me too. I'm going to get over there to that park and vote 30 or 40 times just today alone. Yeah, I'm going to get some of those disguises, those Groucho disguises with the glasses and the mustache. They won't know. They got those 90-year-old people at the polling places. I'm taking Wayne Arnold with me. We're voting and Wayne's voting for Gore. That's what we heard. Oh! Right? That's right. F&A, baby. Maybe somebody's bringing us lunch today. Huh? Nothing heavy.
Well, like what?
Well, somebody's got to bring us some lunch. I got a very heavy agenda. I got to go for my therapy. My hand therapy, that is. Oh, every single word, no matter what it is, every single word she has to analyze and correct and if you fart, it's the wrong flavor. If you pull in a parking lot, you came the wrong way. It's the wrong color car for that day of the week. Whatever it is, Ma. What are we getting?
I don't know.
Atlantic City Sub sounds good to me. My best close friend, Scott Perlman and Ira, whatever Ira's name is, Ira Schwartz. What is Ira's last name?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out.
I think they're kin.
They can do it?
They sure can.
Alice Foot? Come on, let's go, Scott. Let's get some good crap over here today. And feed us for crying out loud. They haven't brought us food since yesterday morning, for Christ's sake. Let's go, boys. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Either he's playing a game or he can't hear us, but have a nice life. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello,
Neil?
Neil?
Sir. Yes, I am.
Hi, Neil? Hello?
Yes.
Neil?
See what I'm saying about monkey see, monkey do?
Hey, listen, I got a comment I wanted to make.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanted to know what these morons are thinking about by voting for Bush. Only because he's just like his father, who's a liar. His father said...
No, he's not. No, he's not like his father. His father was nowhere near as ignorant as he is. His father's not illiterate.
Well, his father was a liar, though. His father said there was no new taxes. He taxed. This
Mm-hmm.
guy's saying that you're going to see a tax break. You're not going to see a tax break.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to know is how could he be a pro-lifer and he's the leading executioner of prisoners in Texas?
No, he's not. He only cares about fetuses. He doesn't care about once people are alive. Don't you understand the difference?
Well, that's what I just don't understand. These other morons who want to vote for him. And also, I thought that their state was the last state with health care. So how's he going to help us with health care?
Okay, pal, you said it.
Okay?
I'll see you at that park.
Okay.
We're all meeting at the park and we're voting 400 times for Gore. That's what we just said.
Hey!
Let me say, if they missed the beginning of the show, because they're trying to give you this big song to dance, the Bush people. Oh, well, it's a done deal and don't even waste your time. Well, I hate to break the news to those people, but the polls, every single one of them now has got Gore ahead. Every single one of them. The national polls. CBS, 2 points. MSNBC, 3 points. Even CNN gives one grudging point. I mean, it's razor thin. It's as close as the hair on your goddamn ass. But all of a sudden, this momentum that was supposedly going all for Bush, and he was pulling away. Even CNN and those Gallup people said, well, it didn't happen over the weekend. All of a sudden, our tracking is off track. And instead of being 10 points ahead, W is a point behind. And the Electoral College, CBS has got a 205, even Steven, each with 205. CNN's got a 209 for Bush and 175 for Gore because they got Pennsylvania undecided, which is wrong. And they gave Bush finally Nevada, which who cares with their big 4 electoral votes. And they keep asking these people, well, is it possible that one candidate could win the Electoral College and not win a popular vote? And they keep hedging on it. Well, it's not very likely. I say there's a very good chance that that's going to happen. There's an excellent chance that'll happen for only the second time in our history, and that would be a disgrace. That would be a real disgrace. And then maybe finally they would get the cojones to say, maybe we better re-examine this and get rid of this electoral college because it's an anachronism and it's not the way it's supposed to be. People should elect the candidates, not a bunch of goddamn electors based on how big the state your vote is in. Crazy. 4 minutes till noon at 560 WQAM.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Greg hates you.
Wipe it all out. Come on, smell. You don't want to smell. Please, you know what I mean. Ain't nothing like having good hygiene. Well, everybody on the toilet bowl. Grab a few sheets off the paper roll. You can do it this way, reach around like this. By the day and just give it a spritz. Yeah, wipe it all out. Come on, smell. You don't want to smell. Yeah, please, you know what I mean. Ain't nothing like having good hygiene. Well, doing it right is the safest way to make sure you don't burn all day. So pick those seats out of your seat and turn that brown hole back to pink. Yeah, wipe it all out. Come on, smell. You don't want to smell. Yeah, please, you know what I mean. Ain't nothing like having good hygiene. Reach your leg up like a rocket and reach around to the dirty end. Wipe it from the front to the hardest of all, without getting residue on your balls. Yeah, wipe it all out. Come on, smell. You don't want to smell. Yeah, please, you know what I mean. Ain't nothing like having good hygiene. Wipe.
It's a Monday afternoon at 560 WQM. Happy Wednesday to you. The world-famous Neil Rogers Show, rolling along, singing a song. We're doing it, baby. You can smell it. How's that poll coming? Who do you hate the most? We got 79 votes on there. I have a feeling we're going to have a record-breaking number of votes by tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Love them both, 49. How do you like that? That's leading handily, 49. Love them both, meaning George and yours truly. Hate George the most, 22. Neil, 4. Hate them both equally, 4. Don't get too cocky just because you build up a fairly comfortable lead for the time being. Just wait till you get about 200-300 ahead. Then you can be confident. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. We got Boog Shabby for Hank at 2 this afternoon, filling those big fat shoes. That's right. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Yes, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Do you know that in the presidential year, every time the Yankee has won the World Series in the presidential year, Democrat has won?
How do you like that?
I heard that on Inside Politics with your big friend Bill Snyder, or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah, that jackass,
Yeah, but so I think you should stop rooting for the Mets.
Okay, let's go Yankees, baby. Like I said, love those New Yorkers.
Every time in the presidential year when the Yankees win, Democrats won.
Always love that Bernie Williams, man.
Okay, man.
Thanks for the good news, man. Go Mets. I don't care. Go Mets. Can't stand the Yankees. See, Bernie Williams is a great player, but he's boring. It's not that he's black, because he's really not that dark. It's just that he's boring. He always has that same bland expression on his puss. Like, I don't know. I never saw a person quite like him in my life. Bernie Williams, bizarre. Bizarre is the word to describe Bernie Williams. Hell of a good player. Not worth the money they're paying him, but a good player. It's all a bunch of crap. Just keep that in mind. All your kids out there, it's all a pile of crap. All the expansion's garbage. You look up and down the lineup, you see all these real weak spots. It's the Mario Mendoza syndrome multiplied times 500. Here's a mobile in North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I do have a problem myself with George Bush, but I have a bigger problem with Gore, who supports the elimination of the Second Amendment.
No, he does not. He doesn't support the elimination of the Second Amendment. Why do you make that up?
Huh?
That is not true.
No, that's not made up. He does support the
Sir, let me say it again. It is not true. It is absolutely, positively not true. In fact, if anything, Gore's position on guns is a lot weaker than I would like it to be. He is not for a confiscation of guns. He's not for the abolition of the Second Amendment. So don't call this show and make up a bunch of stupid right-wing crap because nobody in their right mind is going to believe it, okay? God. What a jackass. What is that? Well, that was quick. Al Gore says, I believe in the right of sportsmen and hunters and law-abiding citizens to own firearms, but I want mandatory background checks to keep guns away from criminals and mandatory child safety laws to protect our children. That's his position, which has nothing to do with even your interpretation of the Second Amendment being eliminated, which, of course, your interpretation is wrong, as we all know, but nevertheless. And how's your militia doing? 5670560, pound 560. See, this is a thing that's such a deep-seated sickness in American society that you're never going to overcome it. Not to mention, of course, the millions and billions of dollars that they spend to manipulate these puppets. And I'll say it again, the NRA is the number 3 contributor to the Bush campaign, behind Philip Morris Tobacco Company. That's right. And the pharmaceuticals also in the top 5 at number 4. And the oil companies. But thank God he ain't pro-big business. Here's a lady in Hallandale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I bought the book, Is Our Children Learning?
Uh-huh.
And I will share that with every Bush supporter I know.
Great. Maybe you can read it. Maybe you could read it to them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to with some of them.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, the last caller that you had, Bush campaign is sending out some propaganda through the mail because of the mail carriers. I've seen it.
Right.
Saying that Gore says the Second Amendment does not support people having their own firearms. But there's Bush propaganda through the mail.
Not true.
I know, but I'm saying they are sending that out, so that's probably where
it was even discussed in the debates. If anybody would open up their ears during the debates, he answered that question.
Right. And for George, I'm on my way to Key West. I'll send pictures.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Get your licks on Route 66. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Let's give away some more hockey tickets.
No.
93 votes. Who do you hate the most? Love them both, 56. Rhymes with Route, and George, 25. Neil, 6. Hate them both equally, 6. So you see 12 out of 93, that's almost 13% who hate either you or me or both equal. How do you like that? Yeah. 13% of the audience. And that's not even the deep closet audience that wouldn't even dignify us by going to the goddamn, if somebody showed them how to hop on the internet and cast a vote there, because for fear that somebody would find out. So we've got, background and deep throat and deep closet, big closet, lockbox. I think Bill McCollum's not going to put him in that lockbox that he stole from Al Gore. Everybody wants to put everything in a goddamn lockbox. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Oh, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm a big Gore supporter, and I just wanted to get your opinion. Lately, there's been a lot of editorials. Yesterday's Sun Sentinel about unleashing the big dog Bubba to go out and start stumping in the swing states, and I really think Gore needs that, and, they think it's a liability because of penis case, but
he needs it. He needs it bad. He's got 2 weeks to go. I say turn him loose. He's the best campaigner in the goddamn country. Turn him loose right now. And if the Republicans dare to bring up Penisgate again, it'll blow up in their face, just like it was doing during the impeachment hearings.
I totally agree. I think that he's got to get out in the swing states and the big cities and start stumping.
He's got to get out and swing it. You got it.
All right, that was just
I'll see you at the polls. Okay, vote 4 or 5 times, please. Turn Bubba loose, baby, and that Mary Magdalene, that slut last night on the Crossfire. Oh, yeah, bring him on, we can't wait, bring him on, yeah. Bring him on my ass, sweetheart, or your ass. Boy, she's a disgusting man, oh man, when they invented that word, see you next time, they were thinking of her, Mary Magdalene. Can you see her in the sack with that little bald-headed James Carville? Man, that must be a real laugh a minute. 600 open lines now that we're not giving any hockey tickets away, as if we had any hockey fans out there, which we don't, which you'll see tonight. That PA guy, I'm telling you, what was wrong with the other guy? Well, he had to be the scapegoat. I wonder who's going to be the scapegoat when the BM and TM get their ass canned. Who's going to be the scapegoat then? And who's going to be buying the new bow ties for Bill Torrey? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Naples. Hello.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, all right. First time calling, man. You'll bad, right? Have a bomb hit on me. You mentioned something about how they ain't got no emission control inspection down here. No, the whole reason about it, about 20 years ago, old Governor Graham down there, his RV didn't pass inspection. It helped can the whole procedure.
Right, that's right. They threw the baby out with the bathwater because it was not working right, so they threw the whole thing out. You're right, absolutely correct. And what a bozo!
And what a bozo! Fan here. Get a speak in on the tickets here.
They're all gone. Sorry.
Oh man. All
okay, sure. He wants to sneak in. Well, you can sneak into the arena because there are going to be a lot of seats. Yeah, Bob Graham. There's another Neanderthal. Remember his performance down here during Allianz? Remember that? Oh, that was really sweet. Yeah, he betrayed me. My friend Bubba betrayed me. He told me. Yeah. Yeah, do it in the middle of the day, broad daylight, so we can have riots all over the city. You idiot. Another guy born with a silver spoon up his rectum. Bob Graham. Another one, also, you can't complain about his personality because he hasn't got one. Have you ever seen him and Joe Zagacki together?
No.
Bob Graham and Josie? I think same person. 9 minutes afternoon at 560 WQM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Aye.
Nervous fears from inside give rise and escalation. Little girls from Sweden scream with silver screen rotation. And if you want these kind of dreams, it's free ejaculation. It's the edge of wetness coming from my inner frustration. My pants may rise from the heat, at least I lose my final temptation. It's understood my Johnson loves free ejaculation.
Squirt.
One big hanging horn, hardcore soft porn. Buy me a whore on the boulevard before free ejaculation.
Okay. 114? I bet you Nova Scotia it might be. 1214 at 560 WQM. You people are really slipping this on. Is the overhead like way down or something today? Because I got it cranked way the hell up and it still doesn't sound right. And quit picking hair out of your nose, goddammit. You'll get an infection.
Long one.
Yeah. How about the hair? This overhead is all screwed up and he's in there picking that hair out of his nose.
More like yanking it.
Well, what about this overhead, goddammit?
Maybe they diddled with it in the other room there.
They must have diddled because there you go. And now what? That sucks. Anyway, the audience is really slipping because there's a thing in the paper in the article about the Panthers, which I know nobody cares about. It doesn't have anything to do with really hockey. It's a quote from Robbie Niedermeyer, talking about Martin Brodeur and how tough he is to play against. He says, we need to have soft dumps, or maybe harder rounds, to make sure we get it by him. How do you like that? We finally discovered Robbie put his thumb on it. That's the Panthers' problem. They need to have soft dumps. Maybe some of that Ducolax might help. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the question is, since you get the cast off your hand, do you wipe from the front or to the back?
Back to the old way, the normal way.
The normal way.
Absolutely. Yeah. That whole thing was just made up. Nobody's fooling me on that. No rational person wipes from the back to the front. That's you're pushing it. You're pushing it toward you. I want to push it away as soon as possible. I don't want to push it toward me. I have to put up enough crap on this show.
Yeah, I mean you're pushing it, smushing it towards your,
toward your nuts. That's right. Oh no, thanks, not for this kid.
All righty, Neil.
Thanks for asking. I'm delighted to give you the good news. And see, it just happens by automatic reflex. Now that my hand is, back to like almost normal, and Louise will be squeezing it again today. Quit squeezing so hard, Louise. God damn it. Yeah, she's sitting there telling me her life story again, and all of a sudden she starts squeezing it, because the only pain I have left in here is the little knuckle on that little finger, because that's what was jammed in that cast for 6 weeks. And she is just squeezing that thing. I mean, I feel like my brains are going to fly out of my head. And she thinks if she keeps talking enough that it's like a little game we're playing, that I'm not going to notice that my brains are scrambling. Quit squeezing so hard, sweetheart. 5670560, pound 560. Oh, those almonds are killing me. It's the salt. Why do they have to put salt on everything? Huh? Put sugar in everything and salt on everything.
Makes it better.
No, it does not. Nuts don't need salt on them. Believe me. And if you have an opinion on that. Here's the mobile in Yeehaw Junction. Hello.
To you.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's just amazing that there are people out there that would go and vote for George W. I mean, if they read the paper, if they see where he's coming from,
even if
how in the world should they vote for this man?
I know, I don't get it.
I mean, I don't get it either. I read the paper every day. I read the editorials. I read Time magazine, and they talk about
where he's coming from and what's going to happen if he becomes elected president, and the fact that Al Gore, if he blows this, it'll be absolutely unbelievable. And if he doesn't call in Bubba, who might save his ass, I mean, he really is. He's going to be thinking about this for a lot of years to come.
Yeah, well, I think his handlers are making a lot of bad mistakes.
I do too. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I've been following this thing. I've always been interested in politics, and you know, to hear you talk, I wish the hell you were on syndicated. I wish you were
especially with these calls.
I mean, I drive a lot. I hear a lot of talk radio, and I hear all these assholes like Rush Limbaugh. They're all the same. They all say the same garbage.
Yeah.
What about somebody like you on have you ever thought about going national?
Going national with what? Going national what? Working for these people?
No, I'm talking about being on airwaves.
I've thought about it many times, about sitting here and saying the same things and actually getting real calls from real living and breathing people, which of course is impossible to do here.
Absolutely. Well, have you thought about it? I mean, we really need a voice like yours to be heard all over the country, as opposed to a limbo.
Limbo. Okay. Well, take a deep breath, and I'll let you know when to let it out. I've thought about it. About 10 seconds. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Here's a call from Boston. Here's a call from Ypsilanti. Here's a call, living and breathing people. Thoughtful people. Not just a bunch of wise guys. This is Eddie, Buttercorn. Even the people you think are rational, like that Glenn from Miramar, that just caught me just totally off guard. Usually he don't call. Usually he he'll write something, and he's one of those people that's been listening for years. And now because we have a disagreement on something political, right away he starts with a fag, you're this, about, you're an asshole, Glenn. That's all I can tell you, man. It's very sad. It's tragic. Yeah, I'm a fag, and big deal. I'll guarantee you a hell of a lot better person than you'll ever be. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. And that's one thing I don't believe is running around calling people names, asshole. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello?
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard of such a thing called a misery index?
Yeah.
Since 1936, when the inflation rate plus the unemployment rate was less than 10, the incumbent party has won the election.
Right.
It hasn't failed since 36.
Okay.
So now we know who's going to win.
Well, what is the misery index right now?
The misery index is less than 10. Unemployment is 4.2, I think.
Yeah.
And the inflation rate isn't, I don't know what it is. It's probably 2.5%, 3%.
Right.
So that's less than 10.
Under 10.
It's worked since 1936. Every 4 years it hasn't failed.
Hey! All right. Thanks for the good news.
You're welcome.
There you go. We rest our case. Bush loses. 6,000 open lines here today. Our thoughtful audience. Yeah, that guy, it's depressing when I hear that guy talking about going syndicated and going national and being on all over the country and saying these same, fantastic things and being thoughtful and talking about religion being a pile of crap and really getting thoughtful, interesting people to call as opposed to the bungholes we got running around down here. Yeah. We have an endless supply. Non-stop. And I get paid the same either way, very, a healthy amount. So, for the same effort, I might as well talk to real people. Do we have any here?
No.
And like I said at the beginning of the show, the rational people, they're just laying out on this whole deal. They're just laying back. The right wing, the gun nuts, the Bible thumpers, the fetus huggers, they're all highly motivated, foaming at the mouth like they always are. And this is the only reason it's even close. And then the so-called younger activists, they're all with this Nader crap. They're all wrapped up in a phantom, an illusion, trying again to figure out how to screw up the election and a really great way to waste their vote. And they found it. They found a way. But I still believe, and that's more and more of these people saying this, I believe as you get closer and closer, like each poll, and when they give them that polling thing 2 weeks from yesterday, they're not going to vote for Nader. Maybe he'll get maybe 2%. Because once they get in there, they're going to say, well, what's the point? What is the point? Just to make Phil Donahue happy? He's not even on TV anymore, old fart. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello.
And he was married to that Arab. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I was wondering, here's a guy that's running for the presidency, okay? He's an admitted recovering alcoholic, whatever the hell that is. Okay?
Yeah.
He's also refusing to answer questions as to his past and drugs. I remember during Dukakis campaign that they made a big deal out of the Willie Horton thing,
right.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, why isn't it all of a sudden...
Dukakis talk Willie Horton played for the Tigers.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to find out is how come the Democrats have allowed this guy to get away with that stuff when this is something that's very important?
Because they've been running a pussy campaign, and this is what's cost them desperately. That's why it's so close, because they run a pussified campaign. And the worst pussifying of all was Lieberman there with the kid gloves routine with Dick Cheney. That was pathetic. Dick Cheney's got one of the most obnoxious records when he was in Congress, the most obnoxious right-wing extremist records, just unbelievable, and yet Lieberman just wouldn't touch him.
Yeah, another thing, this guy keeps repeating over and over, what is it, compassionate conservatism.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had a party that was headed by that name.
Well, that's what Hitler said, too, compassionate Nazis.
What happened to the Republican Party and George Bush? Is he a member of the Republican Party?
He's a member of the fascist party, sir. Don't ever forget it. Have a great day, pal.
Yeah,
he is. He's laughing. I'm serious. That's what the Republicans have been taken over by. And you notice, see, it's one thing, on the one side you've got Bubba in the, working in the woodwork, and they're afraid to bring him out. And on the other side, purposely kept in the background, Trent Lott, Tom DeLay, Jesse Helms, Strom Thurmond, Dan Burton, all of these right-wing fascists. Pat Robertson, Jerry Falwell, all keeping them kind of like a, and then they finally trotted out that obnoxious little gnome, Gary Bauer, yesterday morning. What a piece of turd he is. Man, and see this, if you'll recall, see, people have short memories. In 1996 at the Republican convention, wasn't it 96 or was it 92 when Buchanan made that grotesque, obnoxious, hateful speech? Was it 92 or 96? 96. And then all of a sudden, Clinton went up like 5 points, and it was won in a landslide. Not that the old man with a limp member had a chance anyway. And a limp member and a gimp hand. So, you know, not too many people around the country said, let's give Bob Dole a helping. But at any rate, Buchanan gets up there and makes this grotesque, homophobic, racist, sexist, obnoxious, crappy speech, and everybody said, oh, we don't want no part of that. Well, guess what? Those are the people now, and I'll say it again, like I said yesterday, the reason Buchanan is making no inroads at all and hanging in there with his 1 or 2%, usually about 1% in the polls, is because the right-wingers are delighted with W. He's their supplicant, baby. He's their man. And how just on the abortion issue alone, just on Roe v. Wade, when I see them saying, oh, well, the gender gap in women is narrowing, how is that possible? How is it possible? And then, of course, this business about, well, married women, you know, married couples are much more conservative and married women are much less for Gore. Well, why the hell is that? Don't married women have any daughters? Last time I checked. And Bush supports an amendment, I hate to break the news to you, that doesn't allow for any exceptions on abortion. Illegal. Period. No exceptions. Health of the mother, no exception.
Rape or incest?
Rape or incest, no exception. None. Zero. Zippity-doo-dah. Go straight to jail, do not pass go. Just on that one issue alone. Forget about how stupid he is. Forget about how Neanderthal he is. Forget about how inexperienced and how he doesn't even know where Kosovo is on the map. Admittedly, saying these things, knowing nothing about foreign affairs. At a time when they're talking about how we're on high alert over there in the Middle East because of the terrorist attack on the USS Cole, and now they're ready for another one any day. And the crazy Israelis and the Palestinians are busy trying to blow each other up as quick as they can. And we're going to put some bozo in there based on crap, a promised tax cut. Because I know that all of you are making over $300,000 a year. So I'm very happy for you. Because that's what, in fact, Ed Koch brought it up, Ed Crotch brought it up very well last night on what's-his-name show.
Only $50.
Yeah, that one. And Ed Rollins sat there, yeah, that beady-eyed little Ed Rollins. You know about him. He's an asshole. 26th afternoon at 560 WQM.
Get the best of Neil Rogers 2000. A benefit for Planned Parenthood. Just go to a Specs music store near you or WQAM.com on the net. The best of Neil 2000 with great hits like
I need another abortion and I need it fast. I feel like a baby's hanging out my ass.
Oh, those timeless classics. The best of Neil Rogers 2000 from Sports Radio 560 QAM.
If it's free, it's me.
You're gay.
Black Dom Blondes, it's my favorite website. I don't know, but yo, it makes me feel right. It looks so great to see some white tail getting tagged by some brothers that are hung like whales. You might be shocked by the things I say, but yo, I think it's hot to see a gangbang with girlie on her back, surrounded by guys, and I'm sitting at my computer with my old sock to the side, hanging at my house, and I'm all alone. You know the same old tale of a pervert addicted to porn. Hands to the floor, in my hand is my friend, and I'm looking at pictures of a white chick and black man, and that's what I do every day. Black.blondes.com is the best I say. There's so much sunshine when I'm home alone. On my computer is all that porno. In my chair I make love to myself. Black.blondes.com is my savior.
12:32 at 560 WQAM. So I guess the nephew must be, well, you know, he's leaving in a month. He must be just kind of coasting on through. And Miguel, what's his story? He occupied today? Is there a promotions department here? I don't want to start getting pushy or anything like that, but I noticed that we're not getting an awful lot of input some days, you know? Like yesterday it rained, we got rained out.
Any of them today?
Huh?
Have you seen either?
No, in fact, what's his name? Yanni from our sales department was like walking around in the halls belly aching about the fact that they work about 4 minutes a day and he can never find him and stuff like that. Nice going, Yanni. Didn't take him long to figure this place out. He's got his thumb on it. Where are we going? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, I've been trying to get through to you guys for like 3 days, so I guess nothing's changed with the phone system down there. There was a guy who called you the other day and said that you were, in so many words, profiting on the divisiveness that you're putting out.
Yeah, that was yesterday. That was what is it?
Hello?
What was it? What did you just say?
Yeah, that was like a couple of days ago.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, well, I was just wondering, is everything still your fault? I mean, the kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby and the Kennedy assassination and all that stuff?
That thing with the kids in the class in Arizona yesterday, I was responsible for that. I told them to do it.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know, I wanted to talk about this election a little bit, Neil, because I think that this guy, Bush, is the scariest individual since Nixon.
Yeah.
And what scares me the most
are the
Nixon
wasn't
like
dumb.
you had earlier that says, oh, it doesn't matter, the president doesn't really have that much to do with running things. I mean, what planet is that guy from? He's the leader of his party. He's supposed to be the leader of the free world, and Bush thinks foreign affairs is having sex in another country.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy doesn't think that that's reason enough to vote against him?
Listen, there are people, there are assholes out there who will rationalize their indifference, their refusal to do anything, their refusal to go vote. They'll rationalize it away and say it doesn't make it won't change anything.
Well, and he's saying because of Bush's tax program. Neil, look, I make more money than you do, buddy, and I could spend that tax cut real well. But
yeah,
you know
me
what?
Too.
I think it's a waste.
Mm-hmm.
They could spend it. They could spend it a whole lot better improving the country than giving it to a bunch of rich assholes who already have enough money anyway.
Amen.
Plus, another thing about the damn Republicans, there would be about $60 million more money in the surplus if they would have left Bubba alone.
You got it. And
you have a good and keep telling it like it is.
Okay, thanks. And Bush is always talking about, well, we believe it's your money. It's your money. Well, that was $60 million of our money. Did anybody ask us if we were given permission to spend it? Anybody ask us? No. They just went ahead and peed it down the toilet like it was coming out of a faucet. $60 million. That we have kids with no textbooks to take home in Dade County, and kids over there in Sarasota who are standing with no place to sit down, with no desk. I'm going to say it again, and I don't give a damn what any of you say or what you think. This country doesn't care about its kids. It's pathetic. You don't care about kids, period. Maybe you care about your own kids, and in some cases you probably don't. Criminal. But all these politicians get up there, oh, we got to take care of the kids, and we got to, they don't give a flying crap. They can find money up the ass. They have an endless supply. It's under mattresses. It's in some goddamn old account they just found out in Ross Perot's ears somewhere. They find money for all kinds of crap. So all this verbiage about education and about building new schools and all this stuff, when the hell does that start? When does it start? And please don't tell me Bozo there from Texas with all his phony baloney statistics there that he's going to be the one. He never got an education himself. And he's making a speech up there in, wherever the hell it was, Daytona this morning, and they showed on CNN a little while ago. And here's the audience, this old fart audience. But wait till I get to the good news for him in a minute. The people who like him, little kids and old farts. And they're all the old guys with their VFW and American Legion hats on. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of a veteran respects this guy who vanished during Vietnam, who was supposedly on in Alabama in the National Guard and didn't show up for a whole goddamn year? Who the hell are you kidding? And the military, they're respecting him, the same people that gave Bubba crap because of the fact he opposed the war in Vietnam, which so did a lot of other people, good people with conscience. So it's the old craggy veterans, they're the ones that are big on W for whatever reason, because of the Republican elephant blood in their system. And here's the even better news. If kids could vote for president next month, George W. would beat Al Gore handily, 55 to 45%. At least that's true for the kids who watch Nickelodeon and participate in Nick's Kids Vote national poll, which delivered the good news to Governor Bush in a special edition of Nick News, 8:30 p.m. Sunday. And Nickelodeon's survey of kids is batting 1,000. It's predicted the winner in each of the last 3 presidential campaigns. Well, whoopee-doo, that's quite a streak, ain't it? 331,000 kids, almost all between the ages of 6 and 11, participated in this thing. So little kids are dumb enough to like Bush, and old craggy veterans with their VFW caps on, who respect the guy who just hightailed it and disappeared going on a prolonged drunk during the war in Vietnam. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Here's the greatest indication of Gore's momentum. The Iowa electronic market, which is a real money futures market.
Yes, sir.
Okay. After Labor Day, Gore has been ahead up until the last debate when his stock dropped. Bush's stock rose, okay, and 2 days ago, Bush's stock was at a high of 65%. Well, guess what? Today, his stock has dropped all the way to 51%. Gore's is now up at 49%, and it's rising, okay? People are putting their money on the line, okay? That's what this is about. This Iowa electronics market, that's where the contract payoff's about. It depends on who wins the president. It's winner takes all.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you in Vegas. Did he give you the Vegas odds? What the hell is he talking about? See, I did. That's that same. Yeah.
The okay guy.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. He's just a little bit hyper. 152 votes in our poll. Who do you hate the most? Love them both 93. George 43. Hate them both equally 8, and poor Neil's only got 7. I'm in last place, goddammit. That's okay. 152 votes. You're right, they hate you like poison. But you see, it's different because if you were taking the poll the day you were filling in, then it would be just the other way around.
Nah, they still hate me.
Oh, okay. 21 before 1 at 560 WQA. Well, that's because you're Cuban. He's a Cuban. He's a Cuban. He's really Nicaraguan. How's Isabel de Quesada doing? Hey, Charles Alfieri has been helping guys fill in that bald spot and doing a spectacular job of it, if I do say so myself, for over 25 years. Here's another piece of copy that we're desperately trying to get an answer on from Troy Stratford, Troy the boy. Did he ever respond to your question about, no, seriously, did he ever respond to your question about whether the discount is $200 off or $300 off? Because we played, remember I mentioned that to you the other day when you played that tape spot, and?
It's still busy.
So check out Charles Alfieri's new skin-like hair system. It looks so great, it's 100% undetectable because it looks like the hair's going out of your scalp. Get rid of that bald spot forever without any dangerous pills, without holes drilled in your head, without a mousy-looking wig. You try Charlie's system for 30 days. If you don't love the way it looks, feels, and smells, return it for a full refund. And if you call and mention you heard about it here on the Neil Rogers Show, Charlie will knock off the regular price. Well, I don't know whether it's $200 or $300. Because our salespeople won't give us any goddamn information. Because this sales department now has reached, just when we thought it couldn't get any lower, it's reached rock bottom. They refuse to give us any information, and Ray Perry is running around the building going, like that. Yeah, that a boy, Ray. Yeah, I took a dump next to Ray a couple of days ago. Remember that I told you?
No.
Oh, yeah, I was in there. We were twin whores there, side by side. That's the only time I've spoken to him in about a year and a half.
Did it stink?
Yeah. And the dump, too.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
It was the story of a girl who took the president for a whirl. Yes, she kept Bill Blatt in her knee pads, and we never did recover when he lied. gonna fill in the next 4 years. Whether Gore or Bush, we still have our fears. Politicians are so insincere, never quite as honest as they would appear. Shake hands and give babies a kiss, then later on up to something so scandalous. No wonder we're all so confused, thinking power and privilege that they abuse. Let's hope we will never again be betrayed by Commander-in-Chief stood far from the hate. Cross your fingers the day right after Election Day. It was the story of a girl who took the president for a whirl. Yet she kept Bill glad in her knee pads, and we never did recover her when he lied.
Court. 12:45 at 550 WQAM. 161 votes. Who do you hate the most? George, Neil? Love them both, hate them both. Equal. Love them both, 94. George, 49. Oh, look what I got up to now.
9.
And hate them both equally, 8. See, ask a question about hate, and they're just, like that. They're rabid. Oh, I can't get to that goddamn Peter fast enough, man. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I can't stand, not that I don't know the guy personally, but that, see, they play that promo and they shouldn't do that. That Panther thing, because they got the guy's voice, that new PA guy. I don't hate him because I don't know him. He may be a very nice guy, but his work blows. I mean, he's bad. The other guy was great. So he butchered a few names, big deal. He was great. He was like part of the ambiance that we got used to. It's just like when they fired J. Rokeach with the Marlins, and look what happened to the attendants. All vanished. Yeah, as soon as John Henry found out he was Jewish, that was J. Rokeach. That's right. George put him up to it. 567-0560, pound 560 on there. Oh, that's right. All the Jews are voting on there. I couldn't figure it out. Here's Weston. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Got a question. You know, all these people who are complaining to be apathetic because they feel that both of the candidates are non-presidential. And
yes.
You have to look at the fact that Gore has been for 8 years, has been making policy decisions, and you may not agree with them all the time, but he has been a major part of the executive branch there.
That is correct.
And George W., on the other hand, if I was a Republican, and I've been a registered Democrat for over 20 years, but if I was a Republican, if this is the guy that the party boss is considered to be the best guy to win the election, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, but in the meantime, he's either even or ahead right now.
Which goes to show how many people are lockstep with that type of mentality.
Lockstep and goose step.
And goose step. But, okay, and I have two questions, though.
Yes,
one, that guy was talking about the misery index, which I follow as well, but is that anything like my proctologist misery index finger? And two, what's all this controversy about Shanker eradication? See you later.
Okay. Well, we know what he's got his mind on. Don't get sore about it, pal. Got a few open lines on here, like 600 or 700. What's the story with Scott and Ira? I know it's the middle of their lunch hour over there, but they always say, we'll drop everything and we'll be right over. Isn't that what they always say? Call on us anytime. And here it is, it's almost 1 o'clock, and I don't want to be eating a whole bunch of stuff before I go to get my therapy. On my hand, that is. Because I don't want, Louise to be sitting there squeezing it all of a sudden. Oh, gee, sorry, but, yeah. Got to make a mad dash for that room. Can I tell a rather indelicate story about that? I mean, it's not all that bad, but I was waiting for my arm doctor, Dr. Berkowitz, back when I was doing the thing with the cast a few weeks ago. And I'm in a waiting room, and there's all these people in there, and the average age is about 150 to death. And all of a sudden, I had to go take a leak. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay? Okay! And they got a restroom out there. Oh, these almonds are killing me. Why am I eating these? They're killing me. So I got to take a leak. And I get up and I walk across the room and I open the door. It's unlocked. Open the door of the restroom, and here's an old, I'd say about 140-year-old lady sitting on the crapper, and didn't even give me like a startled look or anything. They're just sitting there oblivious. And I thought, oh, excuse me, and I kind of like tiptoed away and closed the door. There are these amazing things on it, and that door does have one on it, sweetheart, because I checked. They're called locks. They don't go with bagels, but they're called locks. Always a real good idea, even if you're 145 years old, when you're in a public place like that, is to turn the little lock on the door, unless you're looking for an audience. Here's line 8 from somewhere. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how are you today?
Good.
I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale. I've been listening to the show for the last hour and a half or so, and I just got a couple of comments.
Okay.
First of all, on the Panthers, if they just play Luongo, they might have a chance of winning a game. if they play
Well,
regularly.
how do they play? How do they win a game without scoring any goals?
Well, if Luongo can shut them out,
Well,
all they got to do is put in one.
He shut out Minnesota Sunday, and they didn't put in one. The worst team in the league, he didn't put in one.
Well, that's up to Burry.
Yeah. So,
on
so in other words, we
presidential
have
race,
a one-man offense,
well, he's got guys there to back him up,
such as.
such as the other Russian. But there are no Americans that can play hockey.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the presidential race,
Uh-huh.
I agree with every word that you said. To put Bush in there as the presidential candidate is a joke. If I can just make a couple of comments, the most ineffectual, abortive, insipid, vapid, tedious, trite, arduous, onerous, mundane, reprobate, intemperate, sanctimonious, temperate, irreverent, fatuous, insipid, vexatious,
Yeah.
with the most gratuitous.
Okay, thanks. 5670560. What did he say about Igor Larionov, or maybe he was talking about Viktor Kozlov? One of those Russians he was talking about. Maybe he was talking about, what's her name? Anna Kournikova. Korniholia. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We're a C-SPAN where we need them. Oh, God damn it. You blew it, George. We needed them in here today. Wouldn't that be great? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, I'm glad you found the Marlins attendance problem and we're able to nip that in the bud.
J. Rokeach, maybe. That's the answer.
The education issue with the two presidents. Which public schools did their kids go to?
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, obviously they went to private schools.
Correct.
Leads to believe that the government, whenever they do provide a service, is something that's better than nothing, i.e. Medicaid, Medicare, etc. And yet, they have our Social Security for our retirement. I'm warm and fuzzy feeling. Have a good day.
Anybody know what the hell he just said?
No.
No. He said the government blows, which of course he's right about that, but don't be clouding the issue, okay? Don't be giving people a reason, an excuse, because that's the way I felt a few weeks ago. That's not sufficient. That's not going to get the job done. Yeah, it's a real crappy choice, and people are getting real tired of hearing about it, especially on this show, where we're supposed to be having a really great time and sticking our finger up each other's and laughing and chortling. What is that stuff Ken Malden just gave you?
Stuff. Faxes from the other machine.
Why are they coming in the other machine? Because our people are getting as stupid as the sports nerds? Oh, boy. That's really bad. Here's Deerfield Beach. Hello.
Just saw John McCain stumping for the shrub up in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
I think some of that melanoma might have seeped into his brain.
I was just going to say, has he still got that big thing on the side of his head?
Yeah, he sure does.
That's all you need to know.
You'd have loved it this morning on C-SPAN. You know, the Prince of Virtues, I would say Bill Bennett.
Oh, God.
He's got more chins than a Chinese phone book.
Ever seen him and Heinrich Himmler together?
Never. But anyway, one of the first calls into him said, Mr. Bennett, I know you're a very religious man and you're a champion of virtues. Do you believe in the sin of gluttony? And he said, well, yes, I do. He said, that's enough said.
Mm-hmm.
And he hung up.
Yeah.
Because he's a porker.
I hear that he's been doing the Pope. That's what I'm hearing. Or maybe just a rumor. That's what I'm hearing, that they're doing it.
By the way, have you seen Jane Pauley recently on television?
No.
I think she's been getting into the chunky monkey.
Really?
She's really put it on.
Maybe she's hanging out with what's-her-name over there in Channel 6. What's her name, George? Our good friend on Channel 6 News that had the baby? Kelly Craig.
Oh, God,
See,
yeah.
I even blocked it out of my mind, Kelly Craig, because we like her so much. But what does she weigh, about 420 now these days? Huh? Come on, Kelly.
Hey, listen, Neil.
Yes.
One last thing. I gotta give you this website again. You gotta go see it. It's bartcop.com. If you hate Fat Pig Bar, if you hate Dr. Law, and if you hate Schmurk the Shrub, that's the website to go. Bartcop, BARTCOP.com.
Okay.
Okay?
See you. Okay, we got 70 radio open lines, an hour and 7 minutes to go before Boog Shambe comes in and graces you here in the studio on the Hank Goldberg Show. Lots and lots of open lines waiting for your perspicacious comments, things that the people of America would really be proud to hear on C-SPAN and CNN and Fox News and MSNBC, things that really would put you guys on the map and show America just how articulate and in tune you are with the events of the day. Anybody buying that?
No.
Here's a mobile in Parkland. Hello.
Yeah, I got a comment and then a joke for you if you're willing to hear.
No jokes. Comment.
Okay, comment is, I must have gotten about 4 phone calls and about 30 different flyers from Bush talking about how he's so wonderful for Texas, for all Texans, and how he's going to do wonderful things for the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I have not gotten one phone call, or one piece of mail from Gore and Lieberman. I don't know if they think that they can rest on their laurels.
And you know something? I'm glad you mentioned that because I talked the other day about seeing a Bush-Cheney a sign on the lawn of one of my neighbors a couple of blocks away. I haven't seen one Gore Lieberman bumper sticker, not one sign, not nothing.
I just saw that they opened up their Broward Distribution Center. AlGore.com has all the information on it.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Also, if you want Gore bumper stickers, I did find that number that Jonathan sent me yesterday. It's 305-438-1483, and they get the address of the office nearest them where they can pick up their bumper stickers, pins, signs, etc. And why the hell they're not out there, I have no idea. What are you waiting for? Waiting for like the week after the election when it's pointless? 305-438-1483, and they'll tell you where to go. Believe me. And it goes back to what I said before. The right-wingers, the zealots, they're motivated, man. You can smell it. You can feel it. Yeah. You can see the foam in the corners of their mouth. At least I think it's foam. They're rabid. They got rabbis. And the rest of the people, well, I don't know. Hey, yeah, you better get motivated pretty soon. It's the goddamn 25th of October last time I checked, and the election is 2 weeks from yesterday. You better wake up and sniff the goddamn dandelions, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
This is 560 QAM. Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Oh, boy. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Now, from Washington, the McLaughlin Group, featuring Eleanor Cliff, Jack Germond, and sitting in for Pat Buchanan, New York Giant Kiki Barber. Now, here's John McLaughlin. Issue 1, George W. Rings or vault? Eleanor Cliff.
Well, John, I'd have to say.
Wrong! Jack Germond.
Well, that's not an easy choice.
Wrong! Kiki Barber. I'm going to have to say the vote. Wrong! Actual answer, floor exercise.
That wasn't even a choice.
Next issue, Al Gore. Favorite Broadway show. Bring in the noise, bring in the funk, or Cats. Eleanor G, I think you're swelling off.
Well, John, I'd have to say.
Wrong! Jackie, Big Jamon.
Well, that's a very difficult choice.
Wrong! Tiki Barber. I'm going to have to say Red. Not a choice, Ricky Tiki Barber. You gave an answer last time that wasn't a choice. Wrong! Correct response, Cats. He loves them. Next issue, the cast of Big Brother should be murdered. How? Eleanor.
Guillotine.
Wrong. Check your mark.
Dynamite.
Wrong. Tiki Barber. I don't think they should be killed. Wrong. Actual answer, poison pudding. Bye-bye. Bye.
101 at 560 WQAM, that's the best. Just got this on a fax machine. Governor George W. Bush on the record. This is from a website, www.bushandguns.com. All one word, bushandguns.com. On May 26, 1995, Governor Bush fulfilled a campaign promise by signing into law a measure that allows Texas citizens for the first time in its 125 years to carry a concealed weapon. 2 years later, in 1997, Bush signed another Carrying Concealed Weapons Law, CCW, that removes churches, hospitals, nursing homes, and amusement parks from lists of places which prohibit concealed weapons. Let's read them again, okay? Churches, hospitals, nursing homes, amusement parks from the list of places that prohibit concealed weapons. Then on June 19, 1999, just 2 months after the mass shooting at Columbine High School in Colorado that claimed 15 lives, Governor Bush signed yet another irrational law, this time barring Texas cities and counties from suing the gun industry to recover damages they incur as a result of gun violence. So for Schmendrick there in Miramar and all you other gun squeezers out there, he's your man, baby. He's your man, rather than riding in on his wild horse. Nothing like taking a piece of the amusement park. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello. Mobile in Hollywood.
Hello, this is Mr. Craig.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yes. I don't know if you're listening to me or not. Hello?
I'm listening.
Okay, great. I wanted to let you know that the Gore Lieberman signs are all over parts of Fort Lauderdale. If you go from Broward to Sunrise, you'll see them all up in the yards and in the businesses. And the yard signs can be obtained by going to a restaurant in Wilton Manors called Storks, which is located off of Wilton Manor Drive and 15th.
Okay.
And I just want to say one more thing. I think that Gore should bring Clinton on the campaign trail with him at least a couple of days to energize the base.
I said bring...
People,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the people who hate Clinton and would be offended by that are not going to vote for Gore anyway.
That's right.
But what Clinton can do is energize the base,
Right.
and that's what we need.
You got it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, there you go. Of course, out by me, out there in West Broward, a lot of yahoos. That's why I don't see any Gore signs or bumper stickers or anything out there. Maybe it's prohibited. Probably the mayor said, no way, Jose. Or the police chief, or both. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Don Hill.
Yes, sir.
I was talking to my brother the other day in Chicago, and the rumor up there is that if Bush and Cheney win the election, Cheney is going to resign for medical reasons.
Yeah.
Does that mean McCain's going to be vice president?
McKay? Jim McKay? Yeah, Jim McKay's going to be vice president, right. 5670560, pound 5. Well, why the hell not? Jim McKay, huh? He's seen him come and go. He's done a lot of horsing around. He must know Rimmer's brother-in-law, the one that gave us Xerox. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi. I wanted to call because I was on hold making a phone call to St. Louis a little bit ago, and I was listening to you all morning and all these people calling in about these new ads that Bush is running about Gore taking away the Second Amendment. I hadn't heard anything, hadn't seen anything. I'm on hold with 98, Y98 in St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
And they had an ad that was Charlton Heston with, like, the end of the world speech, how Gore is going to remove your Second Amendment because the Second Amendment doesn't say this and doesn't say that, and if he gets elected, he's going to put in his 3 Supreme Court justices, and you know that if he has his justices, then his system will go the way he wants it to. And then they even go further to tell you what would be if the 3 Supreme Court justices that he put in were Hillary Clinton, and I forgot who the other 2 were. Could you imagine? And that's how it ends.
Yeah. Hillary Clinton and Bill Cosby and Rob Lowe, probably.
I was very shocked to hear it.
And I'm glad to hear it because it sounds like they're desperate to me. If they got to trot that old fossil out there, that gun-toting fossil, that Neanderthal, they must be getting desperate.
It's him talking as if he was almost dead.
Yeah. He will be soon. Okay, thanks for the good news.
I'll let you hear it.
Thanks.
Bye.
Charlton Heston, huh?
You son of a bitch.
Moses, Ben-Hur, Ben-Him.
El Cid.
I wonder if he knew about Tony Curtis in that movie. Spartacus.
Do you eat oysters or snails?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, first-time caller, love your show.
All right.
Don't agree always with you, but anyway, the question that I have for you, sir, is the following.
Go right ahead.
When is all the anti-gunners going to wake up and smell the coffee and understand that statistics won't lie?
What is it?
Statistics will never lie.
You're right.
That the states with the toughest gun laws are Washington, D.C., where Bubba is, and New York City, and yet the same states have the highest crime rate. Does that speak for itself or not?
Violent crime in New York is way, way down. I don't know where you're getting your statistics. Sounds to me like fuzzy math to me.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, over and
You
over
can tell me
again,
anything you want, but it sounds like you're just making it up.
No, it's not, sir. It's a fact that Washington, D.C. has the strongest, and New York City, you can't write the word gun on a piece of paper without getting arrested, and yet, I mean, their crimes are out of control.
No, they're not. No, they are not. You're absolutely wrong about that. The crime in New York City is way, way down, dramatically down. In fact, violent crime in America is way down in the last 8 years, tremendously down. So all these people talking about how crime will be handled so much better by Bush. I guess they figure he's going to execute everybody. That's what he's going to do. If you rob a 7-Eleven, kill him. If you pick somebody's pocket, kill him. If you jaywalk, kill him. If you speed more than 10 miles over the speed limit, kill him. At least reduce the surplus population. Nice going, W. Although we have to do that to balance out the fetuses that we're going to be saving. The W in there, see? All the unwanted fetuses. All the babies that he's going to force you women to make. I'll say it again. You show me a woman for Bush, and I'll show you. It's like fags for Bush. No difference than Jews for Hitler. Say exactly the same thing. No difference whatsoever. Gee, we didn't know. We didn't know he was going to send us to camp with barbed wire fences.
The hurricane fucking blow!
Every time I have look at Gore, I can't notice how much he's glowing. Oh, that's okay. What is his name? Inside his nose, nothing else remains. Nasal passages. That's why George always thought he had no nasal passages. He bought a team to inhale the next time. He was born into money, but he's so goddamn dumb. Without it, he would be a homeless bum. Life at the party is a solid state. Left in the cells for a break. Nasal oxygen. That's the reason he's fortunate. He has no nasal oxygen. I bought my ticket and I'm holding my passport
Okay. We're having a rip snorting good time here today, baby. 113 at 560 WQAM. Oh. Yeah, I did hear that rumor that the Texas Rangers almost went out of business because he kept snorting up the chalk on the first and third base lines. That's what I'm hearing. Here's a lady mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good. You know, my husband and I were trying to get through to you after the last debate. It was kind of funny. I know you watched the focus group right afterward that Blitzer did.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy that said, I'm a teacher, I like what Gore said,
what?
And then Blitzer says, so you're going to vote for me? He says, oh no, I'm a gun nut. I prefer Bush's policies on guns. I don't understand it. You're going to give up your livelihood to carry a gun.
Yeah.
It just kind of was totally mind-boggling. And we're glad to see that you're involved because I was really nervous back then when you said you weren't going to go out and vote.
Well,
it was like, oh, God.
It wasn't easy.
I know, but it's the lesser of two evils. And the other thing is, it's funny that James Caldwell has not been involved at all in Gore's campaign, and it's because his close ties to Clinton are all looked upon negatively.
Really?
Yeah, and I think because he was interviewed, and I guess they were asking him about the strategy for, Gore's campaign, and he's like, if I were doing it, this is what and we decided you needed to be in a back room, James, where no one knew where you were, and you needed to be plotting it from the get-go.
Right.
Because it's fearful, but I still think he's going to pull it out.
It's getting a little better every day.
I hope, and I really, it's like I'm sitting here going, oh my God, how anyone who is gay, be a Republican, I just don't get it.
Anyone who's black?
Yeah, and that's true. Anybody who's anything but a smart person.
Anybody who's Hispanic other than the green-toothed old Cubans down in Miami?
Okay, I'll give it to you there. Anyway, have a great day, Neil, and let's go Gore.
Okay.
Take care, bye.
See you in that park. I'll be wandering around looking for where I stick my pole. 567-0560. Oh, that's what happened to that guy, that Trout guy, remember? James Dobson's the right and left-hand man. He was out there looking to where to stick his pole. How unusual. I can't begin to tell you the sexual satisfaction I get from just reading those stories. Every time one of these phony baloney, right-wing, finger-pointing assholes gets nailed, and, oh, gee, guess what? Gotcha! Yeah, all the finger-pointers, they find that their finger is in somebody else's rectum. Wow. How about that? Sure changes the scent. Here's the mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, love your show. Just got back in the car. You had mentioned, I heard you guys talking about presidential bumper stickers.
Yeah.
There's not many of the Gore Lieberman. There's a website that has thousands of them for actually both sides, presidentialstickers.com, and they range from like the conventional all the way down to the unconventional.
Okay.
Like one of them I remember says, you're not gay even though you don't like Bush. Vote Gore Lieberman. But there are plenty of them on there, and just figured out. All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Out of town, look at that. There's a call from Delray Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's up? On that guy that called up and said about New York and Washington, D.C., Washington, D.C. does have a high crime rate. The reason New York City don't have a high crime rate no more is because they have one heck of a damn mayor in there that didn't play no games.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Hey, they arrest people for jaywalking in there now. They put them in death row.
Oh, if you want
to have the death penalty.
When it comes to locking people up for jaywalking, that's California. Los Angeles, San Francisco got the most stringent jaywalking laws there are.
That's right. That's a hobby in L.A. is walking, taking a step off the curb and forcing the people to slam on their brake.
So if you want to be brave enough to do that and stupid enough to do that in L.A., that's your prerogative, but you're going to be wind up road dead.
Roadkill. No, they got a lot of people. They can screw you. Okay, my friend. Thank you. Whatever you said. Yeah, in the dark neighborhoods, I don't want to say it to him because I don't want to offend him, but in the dark neighborhoods out there in L.A., I don't know if they still do it, but they like to, hang out in the middle of the street and then dare you to, just stop traffic. They do it here. In the dark neighborhoods? What are you doing in the dark hoods besides buying dope? Working. Oh. This is not a dark neighborhood. No, this is a Jamaican neighborhood. Yeah. They're not dark. They're kind of like mocha. They're not real dark. Are they?
You haven't seen that Cleo commercial?
Cleo,
the Tarot lady. Who that?
Oh, she be Jamaican? Oh, that's right. I forgot she's a Jamaican. Yeah. I love that Cleo. She'd be my favorite. And whatever happened to Shro Griffin? I guess they finally dumped her fat ass off of there, huh? Since they found out that they were getting all these fortune tellers from the Salvation Army or whatever. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Yes, Neil, have you heard any more about Larry Flint and his expose of Bush?
No.
No.
Nothing?
Not a word. We're still waiting.
Pardon me?
I said we're still waiting. We're still holding our breath.
Yeah, I hope something comes over this thing. Incidentally, what's his name? Phil Donahue has been doing the fronting for
Nader,
and if you heard what they said yesterday, I thought his veins were going to come out of his throat. How he attacked the fact that we're giving money to the killers of Palestinians and all that sort of crap that and both Nader and he exposed. They both were ranting and raving about the fact that we stop giving money, world opinion should definitely be against Israel because they are the ones with the guns and the other ones only have stones.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I guess he forgot the bombs part.
I think he forgot all about the fact that there's a militia over there also with the carry guns.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Speaks for itself. Yeah, Phil Donahue, just say no to Phil and just say no to Nader. If you want to say to Buchanan, that's okay if you were going to vote for Bush instead. Yeah, let's get those Buchanan people out there. I think he's got a real clear message for America. In fact, we can apply a little bit of, That's Pat's message. If you like those foot boots, if you love Hogan's Heroes, then you'll absolutely love Pat. Where is it? George.
You might mention my name to Vice Marshal Goering.
Anyway, our poll question today, who do you hate the most on this show? George, 71. Neil, 11. Hate them both equally, 11, but love them both, 118. How do you like that? They're in 11 mood today. They love us. Can't you tell by these calls? Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Hey, I registered as a Republican when I was 18, and I always voted Republican, but I don't think I'm going to vote Republican this time, and I have probably a real lame reason why, but when I was watching the debates a few weeks ago, when they asked Bush about the problems in the environment, they asked the same question to both guys, and they asked him, what would he do? And he kept going, well, as opposed to Vice President Gore, I would do further studies to prove that this and that. Like, you need more proof that there's holes in the ozone layer, and that there's pollution, and that there's deforestation. And just for that simple reason, basically honest, I'll probably vote for Gore. But that's not the main reason why I called.
Okay.
We have a business in Miami, and we put an ad in the paper for hire new employees. And I guess a job placement agency read the same ad, and they faxed us over, how they would help us fill our positions. They're an employment agency.
Right.
And the letter on the back was, we have employees for all positions from blue color to white color. And they go down the list from communications to hospitality, but not blue collar to white collar, blue color
to Listen, you should stand out in the crowd, man. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'm looking for a real good blue person or a white-colored person to come down here and help us out. So, what's your fax number?
What is our fax number, George?
Because I want you to see this so you can see that we got it.
650-0198.
What is it?
650-0198.
650-0198.
0198. That's 305, Dade County, 305.
Neil, you're the greatest.
Thanks. Send some of those blue people over here. Huh? What's wrong with getting blue? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Yeah, but Bill Clinton got blowjobs in the White House. We got to bring morality back. Who are you people kidding? All these goody two-shoes, we got to bring morality back. Yeah. Like Roosevelt and his mistress, and Nelson Rockefeller, that good Republican with his mistress. Of course, he was too liberal for them. And Nixon with his Chinese girlfriend. And God only knows about Bush. He sure couldn't have been doing Martha Washington all the time. He had to be spreading it around. Oh, don't you remember there was a thing about Bush? I almost forgot about that. He had a thing going. They all got their thing, but back in those days, people had enough common sense to realize that they're just people, and they take up crap just like everybody else, and they put their pantaloonies on one leg at a time just like we do. And keep your nose out of their goddamn crotch, and everybody will be a hell of a lot better off for it. And isn't it interesting how they still have the chutzpah to keep running around screaming about this morality, which is just code for Penisgate, and they just seem to have forgotten about Bob Livingston and Henry Hyde and Dan Burton and his illegitimate son and all these other phony baloney and Bob Bauman there with a 15-year-old kid in Maryland, all good Republicans. See, I hate to break the news to you, just like that buddy there of James Dobson in Fort Lauderdale. I hate to break this to you, boys and girls. You better buckle yourselves in for the exciting news. But even Republicans have a penis. Yeah, how do you like that? Including some of the Republican women like this Phyllis Shoefly with her gay son. Don't hear too much from old Phyllis anymore, do we? And how about the Cheneys with their bull-like daughter that is kind of hovering one toe in and one toe is out? That must be kind of a dangerous position. Kind of straddling that line, you know what I'm talking about, with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Here's the Lady Mobile in Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Yes, hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I listen to you all the time. I know both you and George does a good job when you're not there.
The best.
The best. You got that right. So all I wanted to say, I'm out of material. But listen to you all the time.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
What'd she say? She said... 567-0560, pound 560. How's that poll coming? And I wish I could get this message off here from Power out of this space. Better tell Kid Scurvy about that when you go down the hall and pee in his food. Tell him that we're also out of this space on this damn thing.
He's got nothing to do with that.
Well, who does? Oh, I forgot. I know who has something to do with that. It's probably Bob Vermouth. Is that who has something to do with it? That piece of crap, redneck, Yahoo, Neanderthal, piece of turd, walking turd on legs. I just want to go on record again as making sure everybody knows here is the corporate chief engineer who in the 3 years plus that we've been on this station has done everything in his power to make sure that we fail, and in spite of him, we did it. How do you like that? Everything and anything that we needed, we couldn't have it.
We're number one, damn it!
In spite of him and his crappy redneck attitude. And if ever there was anybody perfect for the Beasleys and their corporate Neanderthal mentality of this company, he's it. He be it. Bob Vermouth. Have another drink, Bob. God. If you look up the word troglodyte in the dictionary, you'll see his puss right next to it. And his face, too. 26 after 1 at 560 WQF.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is a bunch of hooey. Wow. Hey, how you doing, honey? This is Bill Clinton, the President of the United States. This is my State of the Women address. I've known a few girls who thought they were pretty hot, but Billy's here to tell you that, girl, you're not. They used to wear makeup and rip away pants, but when they looked at me, they were under my trance. Whoa, you think you're special? Whoa, you think you're something else? So, Paula Jones, you got a new nose. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brain, none of you got the touch. Now, don't get me wrong, well, I think you're all right.
but that will keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. Let's move along, shall we? I think you'll remember this one. She had a tape recorder that she kept on her phone, and after she ate steak, she would bury the bone. She got herself some lipo and a tummy tuck, but she's still as ugly as a hockey puck. Whoa, she's something special. Whoa, she's something special. So Linda Tripp got some surgery. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brains, but have you got the touch? Now don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. I forgot me, buddy. Oh, yeah, how about this next one? A big, chunky girl with a purple beret. That damn gap dress nearly took me away. Little secret meetings in the corridor. I could have taught Will Chamberlain how to score. Monica, you lost 40 pounds. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the ring, but have you got the touch? Now don't get me wrong, well, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night.
No.
That don't impress me much. I'm saving the best for last. Well, I've tried to cut the brakes on her car. No offense, but I think I'd rather sleep with Jenna Starr. When she gives birth, I think her offspring should hatch big old legs and an ass to match. She thinks she's something. So, Hillary, you're going to be a senator from New York. That don't impress me much. Well, you got the brains, but have you got the touch? I got you wrong, well, I think you're alright, but that won't keep you warm in the middle of the night. That don't impress me much. Thank you. That is my State of the Women address. I love you.
The greatest president in the history of my life. I'll tell you that right now. I was watching him on the news last night, and I thought to myself, he is the best. He is. I mean, I was the only little kid when Roosevelt died in 45. I was like, so what did I know? I mean, we had Truman, and I was still a little kid. And he was kind of like a dumb farmer anyway, who was just crude, and they liked that. Give him hell, Harry. You know, he just, and then we know that now that he dropped the bomb on the Japs just to scare Stalin, and that they were already trying, they were trying to surrender. Now we're going to drop the bomb, just to scare, that asshole.
They had it coming.
Yeah, that's right. Bunch of gooks. Well, hey, if it's good enough for John McCain to say they're gooks, why can't he say it?
Because he was tortured by them.
And then we had the illiterate Dwight Eisenhower, who had a lot of interest in all these things. Yeah, he's very interested. Illiterate. And then what? What do we have to? Then we had Kennedy. Well, we had Kennedy, who wasn't president long enough to really make a judgment, but they sure had a good time in there while they were in there. Talk about getting a couple of blowjobs. They would have laughed at Bubba. I mean, oh man, this guy's a joke. And take a look at the pigs that he's doing too on top of it. You know, what a piker. At least the Kennedys had better taste. And then we, of course, followed that with Johnson, who was nothing but an egomaniac. You know, a lot of good social programs, but in the meantime, bringing 50,000 kids back in body bags probably outweighed that. You know what I'm saying about LBJ? Uh-huh. Arrogant prick. There's another one who was like a schlepper, and all of a sudden he made all this money while he was in politics. Made millions and millions and bought up all these radio and TV stations in Texas.
Defense contractors, all his buddies.
All these crooks in Texas, man. The Johnsons and the Bushes. And then, of course, then we had Dick and Nixon, too.
Who, in retrospect,
if it wasn't for the fact that he was paranoid and psychotic and all these other things, wasn't really all that bad, you know? Yeah, if you look back, I kind of like Dick. And then after him, we had the dumbest man in the history of the human race the dumbest man who ever walked into the White House. Forget about being president, the dumbest man in there was Gerald Ford, of course. Like that. I mean a moron. A bozo.
Worse than this guy?
He makes W look like a rocket scientist. That's how dumb Gerald Ford is and was. Yes, make no mistake about it. He was also the one that told us that, what the hell was it? Poland wasn't a communist-dominated country. And he was like all confused about yeah, don't you remember that?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, really? Yeah, really. Go back to sleep. And then we had Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, let's face it. From Aintree. Every time I see Jimmy Carter on TV, I think, that little kid with the banjo up in the tree, that's what I think of. And I get the vision of Billy. They're peeing on the side of a building somewhere. Billy Carter. With that squirt Billy beer in his hand, or something in his hand. And then this Lily, with the 85 layers of wrinkles. What a clan that was. That was like something from the Beverly Hillbillies, that outfit. The Carters. And then, of course, we had Ronnie, who, we know about Ronnie. But he doesn't remember any of it. With his trickle down. He was the first one, I guess, to introduce that really not-so-compassionate conservatism. And then we had Bush Sr., W. Sr. Bubba blows them all away. Make no mistake about it. All you Clinton haters out there, okay, you couldn't wipe his ass with both hands. So here's that ad the guy was talking about. It says, we have employees for all positions, from blue collar to white collar, from communication to hospitality, from finance to entertainment. You need it? We got it. From blue collar to white collar. Oh! We'll take 4 blue people and a couple of whites. Yeah, just don't put no Schwarzers in there, please. 23 before 2 at 560 WQM. That'd be a good poll someday. Who would you rather have working for you, dark folks or blue people? Huh? That's an excellent question. I haven't met too many blue people yet, but it's certainly something to think about.
How young is too young?
All right.
That's with Madonna, hitters on my sheet. Footprints on the wall from where she put her feet. She's got bad hygiene, doesn't wipe too well. Not to mention how my digits really smell. Big pop star, she really needs a shower. Left all her bacteria on my towel. She don't come close to smelling like a virgin. Spraying all the skull. Sex with Madonna, now my hair has lies. Can't believe I did it with that Yankee style.
17 till 2 at 562 M. Luke Shelby's in the building. He'll be here filling Hank's shoes and chair, or at least part of it, between 2 and 6. And don't forget, Bruce is going to be the first part of the show analyzing Rob Niedermeyer's very observant comments. We need to have soft dumps. That's the answer to the Panthers. What? See, you weren't listening before when I read this. Robbie Niedermeyer says we need to have soft dumps, or maybe harder rounds to make sure we get it by him. So let's see if the Panthers have a few soft dumps. Those 40 or 50 of us will be at the game tonight. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil, this is Noodles, reminding you it's a good time for the great taste. Neil?
Yeah.
Listen, Phil Donahue, the bastard's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got wild eyes. He's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And I really think there's something going on between him and Nader, if you know what I mean.
Could be. Or maybe him and Jerry Brown.
Yeah, well, they're going to put him in the hatch. Marla got him out of the house. He's nuts. Totally off the wall.
Okay.
Vote for Gore.
See ya. 567. Where's that Noodles? Do we still have that? Is it in here? What is it? Noodles. Oh, it's in there.
It's a good time for the great taste. Neil, this is Noodles, reminding you that it's always a good time for the great taste.
Boy, those were the days when old Greg Budell and Noodles were groveling around looking for an audience on my show. Remember those days when they were like, yeah, in search of an audience? That's before Greg went to work as a waiter at the Sterling Country Kitchen there on Sterling Road in Hollywood. And then ran off with Phil the Bugman. That's what I'm hearing. I heard they eloped together and ran off to Vermont or somewhere. Or was it Costa Rica? Here's a lady mobile in Weston. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to let you know, I saw Bush on Letterman, And he asked him how come his state has such high pollution, and all Bush had to say was, well, we got a lot of cars in Texas.
Uh-huh.
And then...
What a great answer, huh?
Great answer. And then he asked him about the death penalty and how many states in the United States actually have the death penalty, and Bush said, well, I don't know. So that's
Yeah, I read about that, yeah.
For.
He doesn't know. Isn't that great?
Yeah, vote for Gore.
After we show him where Kosovo is on the map, maybe we'll work on that one. Thanks, sweetheart. He doesn't know. See, Goog and I were just discussing this during the break when he was in here, and it's true. Anybody with even a tiny little brain, we just all continue wondering, how is it possible that anyone could vote for this man? He's not only ignorant, he's unimpressive. He looks like he just crawled out of the sack with that frumpy gray hair. He squints and looks like, and not to mention, of course, the fact that he's always like, doing that, yeah, with those nasal passages. Which he thinks has something to do with the goddamn Panama Canal. Yeah, it's right next to those nasal passages. Oh, my God.
What country is that in?
Iraq. I ran as fast as I can to go vote for Gore. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to say that I agree with you on Clinton. I have talked to old-timers that go back to the late 30s, and they say that Clinton is the best that they've seen. I mean, they compare him to Ali as the greatest. Another thing, they compare the Republican Party as being very, very partisan party, and some of the people that I talked to relate the Republican Party to Senator McCarthy.
Yeah.
All right. And I want to say something about Bill McCollum. You're nothing but a howdy-doody gringo.
Okay. Yeah, Bill McCollum, you're all done, sweetheart. He hasn't got a Chinaman's chance in hell. Where the hell is that thing? Oh, Christ, this thing's a piece of crap. So freaking slow.
Where itself.
Yeah, by the time you get to it, it's kind of limp again. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We still got 40, 50 open lines here. I know we only got 13 minutes to go, but it doesn't look too promising right now, does it?
No.
No, not promising. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to give all those gun-loving Julios out there a slightly different perspective. I'm from England, of course.
Gun-loving Julios?
Yeah, the gun-loving.
I didn't know we heard from any of them today, although there are some of them, but usually on New Year's and 4th of July. But anyway.
Anyway, where I'm from...
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm from, we don't have a Second Amendment.
You don't even have a First Amendment. How could you have a Second Amendment?
I know, but I mean, what I'm saying is there's no law in the book saying you can own a gun. We haven't been subjugated. All these Americans are worried, if we can't own a gun, what's to stop the government from just taking over and subjugating us for their will, and because they'll be the ones with guns? Well, that hasn't happened to us. And I'll give you another interesting statistic.
Yeah, we weren't taken over by the Queens yet. They're working on it, like in Vermont, but...
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty funny. Do you know how many people were killed by guns in the United States in 1998?
50,000.
It wasn't quite that many, but it was over 12,000.
Okay.
Do you know how many were killed in the UK?
82.
22.
22, yeah. I knew it was low.
I mean...
I guarantee you that we kill more people in a good weekend here than they kill in all of Europe in 6 months.
Here's what they should do. Here's what they should do. They should outlaw guns altogether, ban them.
Right.
And all the companies right now, Remington, Colt, all those places that they make the guns, they should obviously dismantle the gun making equipment and turn them into grow rooms. Grow really good pot and let everybody get high instead of shooting each other.
Now you're talking.
Huh?
No, I said now you're talking.
Is that a suggestion or what?
A little good weed and maybe some of that British spotted dick.
Absolutely.
Okay, amigo.
And I'll tell you something else.
Yes.
I want to ask you about this wiping issue. How do blind people know when they're done wiping?
By the smell.
They have to smell their fingers?
They can smell their fingers, that's right. And when you can smell your fingers, who needs paper? Okay, ta-ta. He said, free pot for everybody. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be excited about Nader because he's for the decriminalization of pot, gratuitously, you know. That's why all these young people are jumping on the bandwagon. See, if you had any chance, Ralph, and if you had any reasonable understanding of the world and a foreign policy like in a real world, instead of all these starry-eyed I was going to say Jerry Brown. He's like 100 yards beyond Jerry Brown. He's light years beyond Jerry Brown in terms of lightheadedness and foolishness. and all the impossible, unrealistic things that he advocates. So while some of them may sound real good to a bunch of potheads out there, the fact is that he's ridiculous. Isn't that what I just said? Ridiculous. And somebody in his position can't afford to look ridiculous. 10 before 2 at 5. That's what we need for the cabinet. Don Corleone. Huh? Secretary of State. I mean, I do like Madeleine Albright, but I think Don Corleone's got the upper hand. Or the Upper East Side, anyway.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Oh, Neil, my queen. God.
Hey, are you obsessed with sports? Cheering for ball teams from colleges you've never been to? Worshipping dysfunctional drawing men called coach?
Hey, coach!
Or able to form your own opinion so you resort to calling a sport hole radio show for their sake? But you need something to do in between games, don't you? When you're being forced to think. Well, take this, sport hole. Just strap gum. Surround yourself with sports inside and out with the satisfying taste of groin juice. Jockstrap gum is individually wrapped sticks of yellow gum, assorted in the flavor of your favorite athlete. So embrace the dumbness and enjoy the long-lasting flavor of congealed sweat.
How's that Ray Whitney flavor doing? Oh, sold out? Okay, here, I want to read it again before the day is over with. Maybe Drew Lieberman should have been read this to by somebody. John F. Kennedy, I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute, where no religious body seeks to impose its will directly or indirectly upon the general populace, where every man has the same right to attend or not attend the church of his choice. That's what it's all about, you Lieberman, not trying to force your God bull crap on everybody else and trying to give us a big song and dance because you're a professional Jew with a mezuzah deep inside your ass. Hole. God, I can't stand him. I guarantee you that if we had somebody else on the ticket besides Drew Lieberman, Gore would be 15, 20, 80 points ahead right now. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Christ almighty. How do they do it? Where do they find these losers? Michael Dukakis? All you had to do was look at him, and you say, oh, are you people kidding me? Put him on TV for crying. He had to stand on 16 telephone books. Here's a fact that says I'm in favor of Neil hosting a November 7th election eve show or November 6th, his choice. Yeah, we're going to have an election show here on QAM?
No.
Are you crazy? Also, how about that NASDAQ? That's only down about 143 points. What do you want? Don't you understand the forces of money? You've got to drive that thing down between now and election day. They got to sell like hell and drive that down so everybody gets into a panic about the goddamn market and thinks the economy's going to crap. That's what it's all about. Here's Virginia Key. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Hey, you mentioned earlier about you never met a blue person.
Not yet.
Believe it or not, there are
not a
people,
living one.
There's for lack of a better word to call them, there's a tribe of people up in the foothills of Kentucky, and they're not immediately inbred like brother and sister, but they marry first cousins and stuff and second cousins.
Yeah.
And they have a blue tent to them.
Yeah, and they sit up in the tree and play the banjo a lot?
That's exactly right.
All right.
And secondly, you're right about the Electoral College. They can absolutely go completely opposite of the popular vote.
Sure.
There's absolutely nothing that by law that makes them vote the way the popular vote does.
Well, no, you're missing the point. It's not a question of which way the electors are going to vote. It's a question of the popular vote isn't necessarily going to reflect the Electoral College based on the states. That's what the point is.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%. And people who don't know that need to wake up.
Yeah.
Because it can absolutely happen.
I can smell the ghost of Rutherford B. Hayes just hovering in the hallway. Have a great day, pal.
Okay.
It's either Rutherford B. Hayes or Josh Friedman. You can smell it through the door. Must be Josh. So they've discussed that problem with him, and it hasn't done any good. Is that what you're saying to me?
Denial.
They told him to clean up. Denial? In other words, he says he doesn't stink bad, and we don't have to throw those chairs out, and Joe Costello didn't really puke?
Correct.
Now, that would be a good poll question for Joe Costello. Which makes him puke faster, having Josh Friedman in the room or seeing Carlos? Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. Yeah, I just want to ask you, Neil, did you see Paula Jones last night?
I saw that Kim